Hello, folks. I remembered. Thank you to Viore for sponsoring this episode of Nateland. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/Nate. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but you will enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75. Also, shout out to our new sponsor from the makers of Helix, the most comfortable mattress ever, comes all form. Easily customizable sofas, armchairs, love seats, and more. All form delivers directly to your home with fast, free shipping. You can assemble all the furniture yourself in a minute, no tools needed. Right now, All Form is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allform.com/Nate. That's 20% off all orders at allform.com/Nate. ALLFORM. Thank you, everybody. Hello, folks. I said it again. I had a couple hello folks in Naples. A couple shout outs from the crowd, but then also just out and about. I met some cool people and out by the pool. Took a picture with them. I was like, let me get my shirt on, please, before we take a picture. But it was very, very fun. Also, we wanted to show these things we got sent in from Adam Anderson. He sent us some stickers in. He's a branding designer. He works at home. He's been listening to the podcast. Once he finishes all the episodes, he starts over with episode 1 and repeats. He is on his 3rd run through.
Wow!
And he's on episode 28, the calendars. We need to find out which ones he skips, so we know what to.
Yeah.
We can find out. That's how you can find out too to make something better. You could be like, all right, you've gone through them 3 times. Like, where do you find yourself? Like, you go back through The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of go through the what is it?
The wife scenes and stuff.
The wife's the
the Dr. Melfi, the psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist. I tend to you kind of go, all right, let's get through that.
Uh-huh.
Like you always there's episodes that you
just know a storyline's coming up, and you're like, I don't feel like watching it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're like, I just want to see the mafia stuff.
Yeah,
I was thinking that's a good way to, if you made a show, you could be like, what am I going to fight? What do I not care about?
Yeah.
I think about that in my act sometimes. Like, here's a joke I don't care about.
Yeah.
So why do I not care about it?
Uh-huh.
I need to figure out how to make it better or make it different or quit doing it. One way or the other. But he made us Midwest Bigfoot Club stickers for all 3 of us. Golf Nebraska sticker for Nate. Tornado watch sticker for Aaron's computer, as Aaron has 0 fear of tornadoes. Grill and sticker for Brian Barbecue Bates, and a Unibuff sticker for Harper. He has an 8-year-old daughter as well. It's a buffalo with a unicorn, and then with a unicorn horn. I bet everybody got it when I said Unibuff. And 1 cow tipping sticker for whoever wants it. Saying we should talk about cow tipping when we talk about the state of Nebraska, which we need to do. State of Nebraska.
Yeah,
we get Larry the Cable Guy. He'd be a good one.
That'd be
great.
Nebraska.
We do Alaska. We have this guy just back in town.
Yeah, man.
From Alaska.
Yeah.
You're married now.
Yeah.
Went on your honeymoon. All the fun stuff's over, and now it's down to get to the nit and gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd heard that expression my whole life. The honeymoon is over, the honeymoon period. But it really is like you get home and you're like, all right, now what?
Yeah. Now
we're just married.
Yeah.
Now we can just live our lives.
Yeah. It's tougher to get out of. And I think the honeymoon period lasts longer than the honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's like the first year.
Yeah.
And then then you really start seeing it.
Okay.
And every time you go home, you're like, oh, you're here every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I went on the road with you as soon as we got home that night and we hit the road the next morning.
From your honeymoon?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Very quick.
Yep.
It's the life of a comic. Everything, all holidays, anything that matters, you're working.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that Harper's birthday, hers is coming up, but hers is summer. So it's like you usually comics. Like funny is like comics, we don't tour as much in the summer. We're more fall, winter, that kind of thing. Late summer, maybe you do some, but it's definitely slow down period.
Yeah.
Maybe comedy clubs are still open, but usually that's when you get on a big tour. That's usually how it is. So I'm usually like and she's July, so she's near 4th of July. So I'm always like kind of just block those 2 weeks off,
That's
and
cool.
then it makes it nice and easy. But yeah, my wife's birthday, my birthday, I work.
Yeah.
I worked on my birthday. I was in somewhere. I don't know where. They gave me some stuff. It's very nice.
So like Valentine's Day is like a big comedy night.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
think Lucy and I have spent a Valentine's Day together ever.
No. Valentine's Day is a huge night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appleton, Wisconsin, where it was.
New Year's Eve is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But you timed that one where you got to watch the ball drop because you were at Caroline's.
That was the best thing about, Caroline's. I always tell people if they want to go watch the ball drop, Caroline's was a great place to go do it because you get to watch a show and then you just walk upstairs when the ball drops and you walk out on Times Square, you watch it drop, and then we would go right back down to Caroline's.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'd be cold outside, but you'd be outside for, like maybe 5 minutes total.
Right. Just to see it.
So you got there maybe a minute or two before,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2 minutes. It's timed out where it's so close that it's like, shouldn't we be going? Like it's 11:56 and they're like, yeah, we're about to go.
Uh-huh.
And everybody's kind of like loose about when you're going to go out there, but then you just walk right up, walk right out, see it, go right back in.
A lot of clubs, you celebrate New Year's on stage. They
Yeah.
purposely timed it in
Mhm.
between shows. Or was there another show after that?
No,
You were done.
You were done.
Oh, that's even better.
But like people and the people that buy tickets for that show, then they have I think they move the stage and they can dance.
Yeah.
And, it's like a kind of a
Yeah.
party after that. But you do the show up to that. And it was great because Caroline's would, it'd be like me, Vecchione, Soder. Like they'd get all of us that are very close. And then we would all get to hang out with each other and then just do a show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was great. I always tell people if you want to see the ball drop, go do something like that. Go buy it. Don't just you go out there and stand in those. It's like cages.
Yeah, it's
You're just
corrals.
stuck up there forever. It's like go. Eat. I mean, look, go. And that's the free way to do it. And if you're young, you don't. What do you care? Like you might. It's fun for you to go do
Mhm.
that. But once you get older, it's like go find something, buy some tickets, and if that's like your thing, if that's what you want to go do,
Yeah.
All right. Did we have anything? Oh, you know what I was going to talk about random before we end this? Like I meant to. I've been watching. There's a show on Netflix called Startup. Have you ever seen that?
I've heard of
It's
it.
great,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I went through it, and it's like I was even trying to describe it like Breaking Bad, but cryptocurrency and stuff like that. I don't know. It's really great. But then I started watching. Did you ever watch Manifest?
No, I've
It was
heard
on
of it.
NBC. I've only watched an episode. I think I'm over it. I tried, and it's this plane. It's like an idea. It was like that show that they had where the Dome show. Remember there was who wrote it? Who's the
Stephen
Stephen
King?
King?
Stephen King. Feels like that kind of where sometimes those like the idea, the hook is unbelievable. And you're like, I gotta
Yeah.
see it. Then you watch it and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I thought Stephen King did the Dome one where it's like they're all in this dome.
That does ring a bell, like a CBS.
Yeah.
show
And you're
that-
like, why are they in that dome?
Yeah.
And then you start watching it, then you're like, I don't even care why they're in the dome anymore.
Is it called Under the Dome?
Under the Dome, yeah. And it's funny because it is like you end up going to. It's funny to be like, you're like, why are they in the dome? And then after a couple episodes, you're like, I don't care, and I hope they have to stay. in it. And you don't, and then you stop watching it.
Well, you're right, because they got canceled pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's just no one, And but Manifest, I started watching it, so they're on the. I mean, this was in the commercials. I've only seen 2 episodes. I can't ruin it for you. But they're on a plane. When they take off, when they land, it's been 5 years, and everybody thought everybody was dead on that plane, and so they're back alive. They all look the same, and so they come back, and so then they set them down. They're like, guys, you guys took off in 2013. It's now 2018, and no one knows like where these people are or where they've been. Everybody's kind of moved on with their life, and
Uh-huh.
like and so that stuff is like awesome.
Were
like
they traveling faster than the speed of light or something, and that's why?
No, I don't. We haven't got to. I don't know why or what.
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to be some magical.
Sounds a little bit like Lost.
Yeah, I never watched Lost, but that was like a plane crash, right, or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
involved the plane.
Yeah, I've never seen Lost. Is it? Are you going to ruin it for me?
No,
Oh,
but there's some
If I go back and watch
some magic. It's like some weird stuff
Yeah.
going on.
I'm going to go watch Lost.
You give up on the West Wing, man?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot about it.
That's all right.
Same thing. It's like, were they in the White House the whole time?
Yes.
Oh God. Oh, good night.
Most expensive pilot ever made.
Yeah,
Just the set. They just
Wow.
recreated the whole White
Yeah,
House.
yeah.
So it was
that's cool.
pretty
man.
expensive.
Yeah, well, showed it. So Manifest. So they, this one girl in it. She's got a boyfriend, right? A fiance.
Yeah.
So she's been gone 5 years, and so when they all come back, you'd imagine the families are pretty blown away.
Yeah.
That these people, they thought they were dead. They had funerals. They did everything. And now they're all back alive. And the dad comes back. Their mom died. And like, it was like, and she's like, because all these people were like, I took a normal flight. Like they're only been gone for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But it's for everybody else, it's been 5 years. And he comes back and the fiance's name's Jared. And she's like, where's Jared? And he goes, he had something come up at work. And you're like, what could come up? They've been dead for 5. Like, this is when I'm about to start checking out. Because it was like, and it was early in the show. You've been gone for 5 years and we think you're dead. You show up magically now alive. But I'm pretty slammed at work to go see you.
Yeah.
That doesn't even,
I'll catch up with you later, dude.
Yeah, no, I'll see. I mean, she's back now, right? Like, he didn't even, and I was like, all right, dude, I'm not, I can't do. And then there was like there was something else. I forget.
That is a really interesting premise, though. I get it. I'd be
premise is
hooked
great.
to see how that.
Especially when you think about that Malaysian flight that disappeared and we never found the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they, but it's like, if you're going to write that, you can't have a guy not show up. It would change Earth and the world. It's like us figuring out aliens.
Yeah.
It just would be different to be like, these people were gone for 5 years and now they're not. We don't know what happened. They're magic. Something's out there. And then you to be like,
or even like
I'll hit her up when she gets
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
In the movie Castaway, when Helen Hunt gets the call that Tom Hanks is alive, she passes out.
Yeah, she faints.
Right there.
Yes.
That's realistic.
That's realistic. Like that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to pass out instead of like, oh, that's cool, man. Today's not the day for this to happen. Any other day I would have been down there, but today is just not and she went to see him.
Yeah.
She eventually has to go chase it. Hey, how you doing? Apparently something happened and I'm back. And he's like, yeah, I've been meaning to hit you up. I mean, he was already remarried and stuff. So I guess maybe there's,
that's
or
what
she was already.
it was
she's the one that just
reappeared.
Oh, okay.
But it still doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You override everything. And, so it's like showing some of the relationship. All right. I don't know. I thought of that last night. There was another thing in it that I thought of and I can't remember. That was very early. I started just like kind of fast forwarding where I'm like, let me just see the gist of it. This kid has cancer. And and so a girl on the plane like made this thing to help kids with cancer, and like their survival rate is like almost 100%. And so they're like, oh, let's put this kid on it. And the doctors, they have to vote on it, which is kind of crazy. That's got to be a tough job as a doctor, where you're kind of playing God in the fact that you're like, we can't see everybody, so who do we see?
Yeah.
And the doctor goes, he's talking to the person that was on the plane, the woman that figured out this new way to solve this. And they look at his case and he's like, well, I mean, it's been 6 years. He's too old for it. And they go, yeah, but we were on that plane that just, it came back. And they're like, well, we can't, we got a protocol, And he goes, man, sorry.
Yeah.
And you're like, well,
what can you do?
Yeah. He's like, well, it was funny. Like, they're like, they're like bending the rules. They're going like, well, we're up for like some money. He's like, we're going to be bought by Big Pharma, so we can't be cheating the system. And you go, there's no system anymore.
Yeah.
These people showed up out of midair.
Yeah.
They were dead. So how about you do go help that kid? If anybody got a raw deal, maybe it's that kid that he missed it. He missed his chance because he magically disappeared for 5 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, rules are rules. You know? I mean, it really felt like no one really cared that they came back.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like, everybody just kind of like, that's crazy, man.
That's what
And
the
then
show's about. That's
Yeah.
how nobody cares about.
Everybody's like, well, you've been gone for 5 years. Like, what do I care about? Like, you know. All right. Will Riddle. Hello, folks. When I saw the topic for today was nothing, I honestly thought this is about to be the best episode to date, and I was right. Listening to y'all go back and forth about squirrels, wet pants, and wedding guest was hilarious. Thanks for all you guys do. Keep it coming. Thank you, Will. Will Riddle. It's a fun name.
That's a good name.
Chris.
We got some great pictures of Brian. Some great drawings, by the way, of Brian.
Oh, yeah?
In the shooting the squirrel
Yeah.
with the hat.
Do you have them or?
I probably should have.
Oh man, I don't bring that up. Good night. Sure, you guys should have seen the wedding ring I got. Oh yeah, let's see it. Well, I didn't wear it today,
Forgot
but
it again.
I had it. I have it. It was a nice one. Chris
You should be on
Nicholas.
Manifest.
Yeah, I mean that's You are. This podcast is a manifest to me. Chris Nicholas. I don't think y'all care ever. When I saw this episode was about nothing, I thought this must be a rerun. Felt like it, you know?
Yeah.
Jeremy, huh?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Jeremy Hoffman. I was wondering whether choosing nothing as the topic would be a mistake. We got our answer, except about 1 minute in when Nate uttered the sentence, khakis are fun. Is this the level of excitement we should expect now that all three of you are married? That is, yeah. That is true. That's marriage. You come down and, you know, like old school. Pretty big day. Bed Bath and where does he say? Home Depot.
Yeah.
All the stuff. Taz Harrell. When Aaron mentioned he knew someone who went to a theme park and ate lunch there every day, Nate said that makes unbelievable sense to do that. I would say it's unbelievable how little sense that statement makes. How can someone make sense and be unbelievable? The only thing that made sense about the statement was that Nate said it. This podcast makes unbelievable sense. Love the show, guys. There's a nice little tagline.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable sense podcast. It makes unbelievable sense. Well, that doesn't make sense. Exactly. Connor LaGrange.
That's what I.
LaGrange is what you would say?
Yeah.
Glad Nate said it's like that bird movie by Alfred Hitchcock when the name of the film is in fact The Birds. Jeremy Hoffman, is he double?
Oh, wow. I
Oh,
didn't even,
doubling up.
Whoa, Jeremy Hoffman, the first double commenter.
I didn't even catch that.
Wow.
Unless I messed up. And
He's putting out good comments. I
Putting out
guess.
good comments. Man, is this the first double?
yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That I can remember.
Wow. Way to go, Jeremy. I think Bald Eagle is wrong about.
Why did I put him on there?
Bald Eagle's a great one, dude. Bald Eagle. I mean, that's so good. Because you kind of look like, you know, like an older one that doesn't come down to the ground as much anymore. You know, he goes, he really has to think about his moves. He doesn't, you know, he's hunting for food. I think I saw a mouse down there. You think? Let me know when it's down there for sure. I'd like some confirmation. I don't have that many flaps left in me. I think Bald Eagle is wrong about Tony Gwynn being the player most associated with the team. Cal Ripken Jr. is probably more of a legend than him, and he played 21 seasons with the Orioles. Also, the Padres currently have one of the best players in baseball, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis Jr. And I don't know if I could name a player on the Orioles if my life depended on it. So Ripken stands out more. I agree with that.
I don't. I mean,
I like Jeremy on the podcast.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I still think if you just say, name a legend, San Diego Padres legend, that 99 of 100 are going to say.
Yeah, well, he's not saying.
I think you reframed the question a little bit there.
that helps out a lot.
Old Brian moving the goalpost.
No, that's what I said last time.
No.
I don't think you understood last time.
Apparently, me and everybody.
Everyone else commented that you didn't understand what I was saying.
I mean, all right, yeah. Then we shouldn't have even been talking about it. If that's,
I can name other Orioles players.
Who's your best? Who's your favorite Atlanta Braves? I think it's got to be. Or you're the most known. I think Chipper Jones.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you're being that specific, yes, Tony Gwynn's
associated with the team
is the most. But you said a person that's most associated with a team is Tony Gwynn, where. This guy's that's what you said. And Cal Ripken, I agree that Cal Ripken Jr. is, I would think of him more. If I had to think of this, I would think him in Baltimore because he was 21 seasons, longest, he never missed a game.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like when he broke the record, like people remember that. Tony Gwynn, like, it's like, to me, I would think Derek Jeter and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, you got to think,
Chipper and the Braves.
Jeter and the Yankees is probably even number one.
You don't think of any of those guys?
No, I still don't think you understand what I'm saying. One player associated with, when you say New York Yankees, first person you think of is Derek Jeter over Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle.
Oh, okay. So that's it. Okay. I think I
mean, even with the Braves, I would say there would be people throw out Del Murphy or the Orioles. I can name Brooks Robinson or Frank Robinson or Jim Palmer.
Who else are you going to name with the Orioles? Who?
Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, two of the
Murray.
best players. Eddie Murray.
No,
I guess this is for baseball fans.
Eddie Murphy.
These are Hall of Famers. Jeremy,
Bernie Mac, Andy Murphy. I don't know who else. Chris Rock.
I should have clarified for guys who follow sports.
Ray Romano. You're like, what? Kevin James. I mean, the list goes on. It doesn't. You're trying to make it still fit for what it says, but
yeah, I am.
Everybody thinks of Cal Ripken in Baltimore. No one thinks of those other two. And like you said, Fernando Tatis.
I agree that he's one of the best young players, but I still think more people, percentage-wise, would put Tony Gwynn with the Padres than Cal Ripken with the Orioles.
I think they're pretty close. I think they'd be pretty close.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe your age bracket would, but
they played the same time.
Specifically you, 50-year-olds. That's what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
Who I golfed with while I was gone? Wally Joyner.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Who do you picture him with?
The Angels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played for the Braves, too. And Kansas City. Yeah. It's a great dude.
Yeah.
Matt McCall. I feel like every Nateland listener has one of those episodes that makes them ask why when they first see the title. This is mine.
Now we've moved to the Royal Family episode.
Yeah, I didn't say that because last time they made fun of that. Last time I said that, someone said, I know you're talking about something else. Because I would announce like, all right, now this is for the Royal Family episode.
Yeah, I felt like that was needed though. It was needed that time.
Okay, well, don't make fun of me about the second time. If you poke fun at me, then I'm gonna.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
I'm gonna adjust, and I adjusted, but I guess can't do that on this podcast. Jake Peterson, Aaron guessing a popular 70s sitcom would have worldwide viewers than have more world. I just missed the word more. It didn't even exist. Would have more worldwide viewers than Princess Diana's funeral is why I tune in every Wednesday.
Yeah, my whole life
that
was the benchmark that everybody always said. The MASH finale.
I understand. I totally get why you think that.
Yeah.
Because for a while it was the most viewed U.S. TV show.
Right.
Other than the Super Bowls.
Yeah, I guess they're just talking about television shows and not worldwide televised events. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like if they brought MASH back, it could top it.
No. Princess Diana's funeral. Yeah. When you hear them rephrase the next time through, you're like, yeah, why did you say that?
I don't know. I thought.
This is the royal family episode too, by the way.
I mean, Master.
Chris Radcliffe. 2 hours of a guy learning how not to stutter. Great tagline for the King's Speech and Nateland. Some guy wrote the King's Speech. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears over it. And just knock it down in 2 seconds. He's like, oh, God. David Bill, episode 8 on marriage. Nate has never been more sure of anything in his life when he declares Oprah is the most famous person alive. Fast forward to today, and Nate spends 4.5 minutes squabbling with Aaron and Benjamin Button about how there's no way Oprah is the most famous person alive. Oh, I did?
Do you remember that?
No. But
I went back and looked at
a lot's changed since then.
That's true. We were talking about couples and how if one person's really famous and the other person, we were talking about Stedman and how that's just going to be hard in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying
you said it in
like
jest.
in that way. Like she is one of the most famous people on earth. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That is funny though. William Johansson. The Queen is without a doubt the most famous person on earth. She's on the currency of 29 different countries.
Okay, a lot of people made that point, and I'm going to defend my position on that. I don't think that means anything, being on the currency. I feel like if Alexander Hamilton walked in here wearing modern clothing, we wouldn't have a clue what he was.
I agree. I mean,
has a Tony Gwynn jersey on, and an Orioles hat. You're like, golly. And he's like, I kind of agree with both of this. And
like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I don't think the Queen's the most famous person in the world. But
I think she's super famous on paper and in the context of being a queen. If you put her in normal clothes, dropped her to Kroger in Middle Tennessee, nobody would go, is that the Queen?
I think someone would.
As a joke.
Yeah. And the Kroger's got a lot of middle-aged moms in there that are.
But if she's not in the Queen
at
get up.
AutoZone.
I don't think. But if you take Shaq and put him in, everyone's going to know that that's Shaq.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think he's more famous.
Y'all ask a lot. Y'all do a lot of questions that are like, y'all are perfect for marriage. It's like I feel like it's like talking to two wives where you like kind of rephrase the question where you go, that's not what you meant. And you go, no, that's what I'm saying though. And then you can't even win the argument because you have some kind of, you're shuffling. There's a lot of little shuffling that goes like, no, but your main point is not right. And then you go, yeah, but let me make it right. And then you go, what about this, then that? And then you're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most famous person in the world, hear me out before I get Chris over this, probably for the last 4 or 5 years, is Donald Trump. I'm not saying the most popular. I'm saying the most well-known person. Okay. I can't imagine anybody Harper's age or older in developed countries doesn't at least know who he is.
Yeah. And what he looks like.
If he was anywhere.
That's true.
And in a few years, younger kids won't know him, but right now, almost everybody.
More than the Queen.
Yeah, I think so. His look, his name, everything about it.
Oh, also the Queen, the picture of the Queen on the money is from like
it's flattering.
130 years ago.
It's very flattering.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you take when you do that, you ask to go, could we take it a little more serious than, they don't walk in a room and go, hey, and she goes, what? And then they get a weird picture and it goes, come on. Like Seinfeld when Jerry took the picture of all the kissing.
In the apartment.
This picture she looks at money and she goes, this picture is so bad. Every time I look at this money and they go, it'll be $4. She goes, oh. And then she pays with her face on it. And the guy doesn't recognize her because she has a ball cap on. And jeans. She's wearing, there's the Queen with jeans. She pulls out Levi's. She goes, my face is on all of this.
The Queen with jeans.
Some of these, she's old, but like, some of these, she's way younger in it. You're going to tell me you be at a grocery store, look at your money, then you look up and the modern day Queen is there. And you're like, oh, that's her. I just don't buy it.
Well, they go hide and Didn't they do that in Notting Hill? You remember that movie Notting Hill?
I remember Julia Roberts.
Yeah,
Hugh
didn't
Grant.
she like go high? Like she was so famous, and so she just went and did something. Almost like if they go do something normal, no one will believe that they're there.
Yeah.
That could not be in Notting Hill.
Well, we told the story last week
Which
about
is-
the Queen out on a walk,
Yeah.
and the American tourists didn't recognize her
Yeah.
because it's just such out of place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of my argument.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Because Shaq's big, so I mean, then you could say, what's his face?
Yao Ming?
Yeah.
Yao Ming's up there too.
Yeah.
I put the two of them.
In height wise, is what you mean. He's up there. Is that what you meant?
He's physically
He's
up
physically up there. Eric Berglund. The Queen owns 1/6 of the world's land.
What's
I
her
looked that
soul-
up.
Is that true?
Yeah, the Crown Estate owns like 6.6 billion acres or something.
Shows he's like the landlord
Yeah. Of the
for
of
1/6 of the world.
Yeah.
That's
That's like
I don't buy it.
that's like how much water there is. You know what's that? There's more water than land or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 70%.
How much? That's what you would say to her. How much water do you own?
Yeah. How much of that is water
yeah.
though?
Yeah.
It's a worthless
That's
ocean.
a crazy. She owns all that land. You know,
What has she done with it? Nothing.
she's
I don't know.
Yeah, she's done a lot with it.
What has she done?
To mow it is a ton. People had the job she provided to mow all that. Do you know how many people got hired?
Just the landscaping.
Landscape alone is
That's a lot of work.
$1 billion industry.
Papa's New Guinea's not hard, but Mama in New Guinea,
Mama.
there's a lot of hills. I
Right.
guess it's all the Commonwealths.
Oh, okay.
Demelza. Demelza.
I think that's right.
Demelza. Demelza. Let's get started again. It's like that way you describe the use of the knife and fork is how everyone in Commonwealth countries generally operate their culture cutlery. Cut the Larry.
Cut the Larry.
Cut Larry. Larry.
Cut it out.
Cut it out, Larry.
How do you say it?
Cutlery.
Cutlery. Generally operate their cutlery. I feel like y'all are making fun of someone that's got a problem. You know? I don't think that's very nice. The way Americans eat is pretty sloppy in comparison. Because
All right.
that didn't help reading that sentence that way. I can't even argue with it.
I was gonna say. I was like, what do we say after that?
So, yeah.
She's like, checkmate.
Yeah. I barely made it to the insult of the Americans. I thought I was done with the sentence. If you've been listening to this show for a while, you've probably heard me talk about our Helix mattress. We love it. I said we've had everybody stay on it. Well, Helix has left the bedroom and started making sofas and more. They just launched a new company called Allform, and they are already making the best sofas we have ever seen. Allform is the easiest way you can customize a sofa using premium materials and a fraction of the cost. You pick the fabric, scratch resistant, stain resistant, spill resistant, whatever you want. Color of the legs, which is pretty cool. Sofa size, shape, it's perfect for you and your home. So, same for love seats and chairs. Getting to design your own chair like that's pretty awesome. Like you would have a lot more opinions about designing a chair, more than you think, if you got into it.
Yeah.
People customize a lot of stuff. Allform sofas are also delivered directly to your home with fast, free shipping. Sofas can take, weeks, months. They take forever to get here. And you need someone to put it together. Allform takes just 3 to 7 days to arrive, and you can assemble it yourself. No tools needed. Laura's put ours together easy. I didn't even. Did I say that right? Easily.
Hey.
No, it's
just funny.
You're like,
Lord.
yeah, Laura put it together great.
Yeah, Laura
It
put it-
was so
she-
easy for her.
It was easy. She carried the box in by herself. We chose the armchair. with the sand fabric with the natural wood legs. I think that we chose it. She chose that. And but I sit in it. It's a corner. It's a chair she has in the corner of her office, and that's where she makes me sit when we have to go over everything. And I go, okay, I know. All right. And it's a very comfortable chair. It's a comfortable chair to get yelled at in. Just, we got to do this, and then we're going to do that. I'm like, okay, we're going to do everything. If getting a sofa without trying in the store sounds a little risky, don't worry. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep it. That's more than 3 months. If you don't love it, they will pick it up for free and give you a full refund. You know, marriage, you get to do that too, Aaron. 100 days. Lucy, too. Lucy, you get 100 days. If Aaron's not what you want, kick it to the curb. To find your perfect sofa or chair, check out allform.com/Nate. Allform is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allform.com/Nate, allform.com/Nate for your new favorite sofa. That's 20% off all orders at allform.com/Nate. Also, Viore, which I'm a big fan of. Viore is a new outlook on a performance apparel. Perfect if you are sick and tired of traditional workout gear. Everything is designed to work out in, but you don't feel like it. I have the Sunday Performance joggers. They're super comfortable. I wear them all the time. I wear them around the house, but I've also worn them out. I like wearing these joggers you could wear like on stage. I mean, they're kind of cool, you know. They have great golf stuff at Viore. Ordering online is very easy. The website is not cluttered. Very easy to pick styles and color options, and everything has a great fit to it. So you need to do yourself a favor and get your own Viore. They make it look so great in everyday life. I mean, just not in the gym. Like I said, we could wear it on stage. You wore yours on stage, and then the pants you could wear on stage, you could look pretty good. This will be great bus living clothing for me. It's comfortable. It's versatile. Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/Nate. That's VUORI.com/Nate. You will not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. You should have wore Viore at your wedding. Everybody could have dressed in that. That'd been a good gift to get.
That would have been nice.
Been good to buy everybody some Viore. You should still do it. You know, just buy them all stuff. Nice, comfortable clothing.
Yeah.
Go to Viore, VUORI.com/Nate and discover Viore clothing like we did.
And we got a big show coming up at Zanies.
Yes, we have July 5th. We are doing 2 live Nateland podcast shows at Zanies. You could come to both if you want to. We're going to do like we did last time and do 2 shows, and we will. So it'll be 2 different kind of topics, and you can. And it won't be 2 topics. It'll be 1 topic, but we will talk about different things on both episodes. Yeah. So if you did come and you wanted to stay for both, you could definitely do that. And then that will be our anniversary, and that's going to be our 1 year. We're making it kind of a special show. 2 shows. We're gonna, if you get to come, we're gonna make. I don't know. We're gonna do something. We're gonna make it look nice and festive in there.
Yeah.
Look pretty good in there. 6:30 and 8:45 p.m. at Zanies, July 5th. You'll be tired of your family, or bring your family. Yeah. Maybe you don't have to talk to them for a few hours.
I think most people are off work that day.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the work holiday.
Yeah. So here you go. Come do the Nateland podcast live recording. We're going to do it will be our 1 year anniversary show. And so we're going to have a topic. We're going to talk about something. We're going to make it fun, but we're going to make it special. And for the comments for that episode, we are going to we have a we're going to read comments. There's am I going to say what the episode is? We have a best of episode coming out. And we're going to put that out
July 1st, I think.
July 1st, which is the
Thursday before
What is that the anniversary?
That's the 1 year.
That's the
Exactly.
exact.
Yes.
So July 1st, which is Thursday, is the exact 1 year anniversary of our podcast. We're going to have another regular episode come out on that Wednesday, but then Thursday we have put together a best of episode of the Nateland podcast. So we're going to read for the live show. We're going to read comments from the best of podcast. We will catch up on your other comments on other episodes, but for that live one, since it'll be an anniversary show, we're gonna read the comments from that, and you can comment about I don't know, the funniest stuff that from this podcast that you've had from just stuff about it's always about the podcast, but it's like what has been you can talk about what your favorite moments are, the dumbest things you've heard me say, whatever, We
got a couple on the episode today, I think.
I mean, yeah, you might have some today. We got a new one. Cut Larry. Cut it out, Larry. That's how we drive. That's how we describe forks. You have any cut it out, cut it, Larry? Is that what that means? Cut it, Larry. Yeah. I was trying. I almost had another joke. I was thinking that like if you were eating with a Larry, and I said, "You have any cut it, Larry?" He's like, "Yeah, I can." And I go, "No, I'll do it." But you have cut it, Larry. And he's like,
it's like who's on first?
Yeah, he's like, so what do you want? I don't really get what you want right now. I'm like, I want some cut it, Larry. Or was it cut Larry? Cut Larry. We've already forgot. 8 minutes ago. I bet we will never forget after this comes up.
Yeah.
So just talk. So we will, for the live episode, we're going to read from the best of episode, the comments from that. So if you have anything that make it special. We're all together. We're all folks in this together. So let's make that one a special one, and we can't wait. So all right. Today we have our fellow comedian.
Loosely used
improv actor.
Usually I have like an intro, but all right.
Improv actor.
He said fellow comedian.
Yeah. I was going to say peer, then I rethought it.
Yeah, smart. It's smart.
And then
you couldn't just say straight up comedian because that makes it seem like you're like, well,
I
he's
don't want
kind
people to be, when they go to your show, be confused.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What'd you say that one time? When we were like, you were like, oh, you guys are comedians, and we were playing golf, and you go, well, I'm a comedian. He like does videos.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, chill.
It's all it's a little probably too mean.
We'll go with what you wrote down and what you guys were prepared about me.
I didn't write anything down.
We've never prepared anything.
Oh,
You don't know this podcast too well.
I
do you?
no, I thought you guys have everything prepared. Like I'll just wait until you read my intro and then I'll come in. You're like, no, we got nothing.
We're not reading your intro.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay, yeah. There's no intro.
the stuff that you've done.
Yeah,
We'll read your 2019.
just Google
This
me.
guy's got a bunch of YouTube views.
Yeah, that's how I start. That is how I introduce. That's how you introduce.
What
me,
would be?
actually.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
Over 1 billion views.
over 1 billion.
Wow.
You've had over 1 billion views.
Yeah.
A lot of autoplay stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, well, the playlist. Once you get, my mom is like, my mom always says, I get annoyed by the advertisements, but I watch them on your videos because I'm trying to support you. I got mother.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
You
going
say mother?
well, that's not really the point of the story, but I go, that's not really going to translate into dollars for me. I don't think.
Do you say mother though?
Yeah.
You do?
Mother, come on.
Yeah.
Do you?
Is everybody? No, I say mom.
Dude, I got bullied one time when I was too old to say mommy. To practice, I go mommy, and I was like what's the age? What's the cutoff age?
I mean, you're probably about to tell us what age you were.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was probably 7 or 8.
No,
Yeah, it's getting there.
yeah,
For a guy, I feel like.
for a boy.
Yeah.
Our daughter still says daddy, but I think a girl can pretty much say daddy
forever.
Like because it's daddy's little girl, and but a boy.
Yeah, I was beyond the cutoff.
I could see, and I think your mom loves it. And so, I would understand that. I would think if I had a son and my son called me daddy at 7 or 8 or 9, you're going to want it. It's going to be sweet. And you're going to love it as a parent.
Yeah.
But I could see definitely the other kids being like, you couldn't say it.
Well, that's like sometimes, you want to see, sometimes on Instagram, people kissing their kids on the mouth. You're like, it's too old for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just get right into it on this podcast, I guess.
We haven't even said your name yet.
Well, that was.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I don't even know who you are.
That is true.
John Crist.
They know.
Is,
Probably
here.
not.
No, they know. That's the attitude. There's.
Maybe sometimes you just see it and you go, that's too much. You don't know.
That was the big Tom Brady when he kissed his son.
Uh-huh.
But it's it's like it's all like he loves his boy, dude. Like it's all like you're gonna be,
And I love my mom, but I'm getting trashed for it. This same narrative been going around about me for years. Everybody
about your
just joking.
mommy comment.
What about Mama?
Mama.
Well, not like that, but
Mama.
Mama.
That's like a.
That's a Southern thing, I think.
Yeah.
So what
Is it?
I don't
People
know.
now they say old man, old lady,
The old lady.
the
Yeah.
old lady. That's like
I feel like old lady is wife, right? Don't you hear that used?
My
old
the
lady.
old lady.
But my buddy
Yeah.
Travis, my tour manager, he calls his dad old man.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah,
you call
for
your
the
dad.
man. You don't
Old
call your
man's
mom.
different. Yeah.
Don't call your
Not
mom
to
an old
him.
lady.
He's saying to you. He said, "My old man," or he says it to him.
He might say it to him too. He might say, "Hey, old man, like, why don't you,
Why don't you want
yeah,
it?
why don't you come drive over here and pick me up?" I don't know.
He says that to me.
I think,
It's like
He
that
is old.
Old man.
That's the song. You know the song, like, "Well, I love her, but I love." He's like,
yeah.
he just
Yeah.
leaves his wife.
I didn't get it. I didn't get a lot from that song. You sang it for.
Oh yeah,
You know
well,
that-
Name that tune.
That Brad Paisley
dun,
song.
dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Yeah, you know that song.
Yeah.
Well, what's the chorus?
Well, I left her.
But I love the fish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just say that part
Yeah.
first? That's the main part. Is I love to fish. You say it. You sang the lyric no one knows of the song. You're like, no, I don't think I know that.
That is in
Oh,
every,
the main most popular song of all time. Yeah, I actually, you know what? I have heard that.
and it was "Well, I love her." You're like, that's in every country song.
It's like it's a small world, but you don't say it's a small world. You're like, what's the other words in small world after all? You're like, the song like After All. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a small world after. You're like, yeah, well, do that part, dude. Why would you not? You go,
Well, I love. Well, that's just talk about like my old woman. She won't ever let me go fish.
Yeah.
And then he just says he's leaving her.
yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out.
You just like, he goes, nah, I'm not going to listen to her anymore.
If you're into fishing, you got to get out of there.
That's what then you,
And you got someone in the way, and that's your old lady.
That's your old
This
lady.
old lady's in the way.
but isn't there like how like if you call a woman sweetheart, there's like a endearing way to say it and then like a condescending way.
Yeah.
Like if you say some girl's at the grocery store and you can't, like, let me help you with that, sweetheart. That's saying,
Yeah.
that's a
Endearing.
no.
Oh, that's condescending.
Yeah.
I'm way off.
You're like, that's very sweet.
Or like she's like needs a flat helper with a flat
I
tire.
say mama at that
Yeah.
point. I go, let me help you out, mama.
Hey, Big Mama.
I don't
Yeah.
think you can do
Big-
that.
Women have larger hips than people think.
Oh, they
yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we learned that on a
Yeah.
previous episode.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to comment
Yeah.
on that. But
If you want to get into it, you can. It's
who taught you that?
the internet,
Oh.
Wikipedia.
It's probably not true.
We do a lot of
Yeah.
research on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the show.
good to
And
be
you have a big tour that just got announced too.
Huge tour.
Huge tour.
Yeah.
And what's it called?
It's called Fresh Cuts Tour.
Fresh Cuts Tour.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a big. So this co-episode saying "Let's go." I'm not a fan.
I started it, dude.
You
How many
started
times do you
Let's
say it
Go?
a day?
And then people took it, and now it's out of the mainstream because of them.
Yeah.
It's like I started wearing visors, dude. I started visors.
Yeah.
I
Nick
did.
Saban wore them quite a while.
Yeah, but I took
Steve
him.
Spurrier.
I took him into the mainstream.
Yeah. And then so you took "Let's Go" in it.
Yeah.
At what point do you think you should stop saying it? Because I think you're pretty far past the age.
No,
I
but
told I
and
told
mama.
a 12-year-old boy he has a year left of saying "Let's go."
Yeah. So it's by age, or it should be by.
Just you should. It's mommy.
That's the same type of territory.
It's.
I thought it was over my childhood trauma, but here I am.
Yeah, you're with "Let's go." Do you think you even know you say it?
No.
Yeah.
How many times do you think you say it a day?
Other people started saying they made it annoying, is what I'm saying.
You weren't saying. Yeah, when you started it,
It was cool.
Not, it was
like
cool.
when you nail like a
Yeah.
birdie, you're like,
But do you
"Let's
not
go."
then move
Yeah.
on from it and go, all right, it's been taken out of my hands. You've invented the phrase "Let's go,"
I brought in.
and then so Do you not? When do you let it go?
Yeah, good point. When I see someone else using it, see, I didn't know
They're doing it everywhere.
I didn't know that.
You're lying. Like they're doing it all
Who's
day
doing
long.
it?
I mean, everybody on Earth.
Let's go. It's a
Let's
very
go.
common
I
phrase.
said, well, I tweeted on Instagram, or put on Instagram that like, let's go, Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone was like, "Oh, you said let's go," but that's not "let's go." That's let's go, Vandy.
Go is like with a lot of O's, like with let's go.
Let's go. You're just saying it. They got your Fruit Loops you wanted. Let's go. That's when it gets into that world. That's
out.
Now it's too far.
Well, I think that's what the same thing has happened with Crocs. Is there was like, oh, fun, ironic, like weird. You're wearing Crocs, ironically. Now they're cool.
Yeah.
So now we gotta.
You're talking to a man that wears Walmart slippers.
But he's still good on those. I feel like.
Yeah, but he's. I mean, he's got.
They haven't taken off.
Striped polo.
If
Walmart.
my feet were in the camera, I wouldn't be wearing them.
Yeah,
that's how I
it's
feel
trying to
about
stay
it.
fashionable.
Yeah.
I would wear regular.
But like,
shoes.
let's say like.
Well, we have
Go
a
ahead.
foot camera now under
Foot
the table.
cam.
Yeah, foot cam.
Yeah, foot cam. We have a specific audience that wanted one, and so we gave it to them.
Just one
Yeah.
guy, actually.
It's one
weird.
guy. He does the Patreon. We don't have Patreon, but
Yeah.
he does it, and we said okay, and
Just mails it to us.
yeah,
Kind of strange.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what if Vandy like started winning national championships on everybody? And everybody's like Vanderbilt, then you would have to be like,
No, that's
It's not
the
cool.
phrase. Vanderbilt is winning national championship in baseball. By the way, they're in College World Series, and they. But
if it can't-
Vanderbilt
if
did. I know it's like I know it's a sports gets popular. I've already been. I'm stamped in.
that's
I've
me
been
on
there.
Let's Go.
Yeah, you've been saying "Let's go" before. It got cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go is your Vanderbilt. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
You've put in your time. You've earned it.
You've earned the time.
But
to
now
go.
I need to be like, hey, listen, I'm not doing this like.
Well, we were talking about how a lot of things we say, you start to say it ironically, and then eventually
yeah.
over time, it just becomes unironic. Like
And then it's
dope,
just- it's
saying
in the-
something's dope.
sick, dude.
I say dope.
You do.
Still.
Yeah.
I could say something's dope.
Yeah.
But dope is kind of gone now. It's like an age thing.
But
Like
it kinda
my age
just-
said dope, and now it's kind of people are kind of over it.
But I guess how would I? Same with the mommy thing. How would I have known?
Fill
Would
it
I
out.
just no? But
Just
what
fill it out.
if that? Let's say that kid never said that to me.
Yeah.
Would I've just gone forever?
Yeah, into
I
college.
mean,
That's
you're
the weird-
doing "Let's Go" a little probably too long, so you
I'm
might
saying
have.
this is good. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I didn't know it was
I've
coming from
heard,
my therapist's office. This is great.
Do you say so? I've heard. I think people say "mommy" or something like that. That's pretty old, or
Yeah,
where they say where it feels kind of like you're like, all right,
yeah.
feels
that
weird.
might be.
But it's
Well,
not like I judge them in like a way that it's just like going like, all right, I don't talk like that. That feels weird to talk like that.
Well, this is probably a thing that I know. Well, I do it probably the most. I don't know if y'all do it. You definitely do not do it at all. Is laugh at your jokes on stage.
Yeah.
You hate that.
I mean,
Right.
you say them every night. Are you surprised? If
You do it some, but
I
not
do
really.
it. Yeah, yeah.
I do it a lot. I
Yeah.
feel like laugh.
Yeah.
You're like, is this an intervention or you're like,
Yeah.
John? There's a couple things we need to address.
Well, there's, that's it. Like Kevin Hart did it where he would do
Yeah,
one where
yeah.
it's like he can't get through the joke, and you're like, you can get through the joke.
You know.
I understand the audience. I've laughed on stage, and I'm not laughing at my joke. I'm laughing at the reaction the joke is getting.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost can't believe it's getting that much of a laugh.
Yeah.
So you laugh at someone
when you're
laughing
like-
so hard.
Yeah, when you're like, I can't get through this joke. Shut up. I need to tell it. Like that's
It's a trick. You're not.
Yeah.
You can get through the joke. You've told the joke, and maybe if you come up with it, look. If you come up with something on top of your head right in that moment, I could understand
It's funny.
laughing at it, and that's
Yeah.
funny, and you're like, "Oh, that was funny."
Mhm.
Like I understand that. Like,
but you don't think your jokes are not funny.
No, but I don't like. I am telling them, and so like my job is to tell these jokes, and I'm not gonna laugh at them. I'll have little laughs.
Yeah.
Like I could have little like kind of weird
Yeah.
pauses or
yeah,
something
Yeah.
where it's like a little tiny kind of
You're
a
like,
thing.
oh.
But the show shouldn't be. You shouldn't get a laugh off laughing off your joke. That's not the point of
Yeah.
writing a joke. Like the joke should be good enough that
Is it-
I
yeah.
make you laugh. I shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. You're laughing because I can't. Look, he couldn't. Like you're laughing because he can't get through his own
Or
joke.
you can't get. Yeah. It does kind of give me a a laugh. If I laugh, then the people laugh, and like it.
How many words do you think you're actually saying on stage in an hour? Is it,
It's a lot of laughter.
5.
How much time do you do
But,
in
all right.
between your laughs? 10,
Yeah,
15
yeah,
minutes?
no, I just gotta let
of an
it-
hour set?
Well, so a lot of people say in the comments, like, "Oh, my favorite part is when you laugh," but then the people that hate it aren't saying anything.
So,
They're just not following.
That's
anymore.
like, all right, so that was like when in SNL when they talked about like
Fallon would do it.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
break,
yeah.
right?
Or
Everybody loves that. I love that. Everybody
Yeah.
loves that when they do it. But if you're the way the other people would look at it sometimes is they'd be like, well, I'm supposed to be really good and like I shouldn't be.
the
I
other
shouldn't be getting
actors you talking
the other,
about.
Yeah, the other
They're like,
actors
why does
are
this
like,
guy get to break?
well, the stuff we write is the thing that's supposed to be making you laugh.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
shouldn't be you breaking character. That shouldn't be what the laugh's about.
Yeah.
That means it's like, I'm gonna laugh at anybody that starts laughing. A stranger starts laughing.
You just start cracking up.
You start
Yeah.
laughing. So the jokes are what I believe is the thing that should be.
Yeah, so if I don't have that, is what you're saying, then I could just go with laughter.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Okay,
you do.
thank you.
do that. I
I've
think-
done that. I've been going through a set halfway through. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to fill my time, so I start laughing more. Just to fill it.
I did see a guy. This is a true story. Stephen AJ, my buddy. I mentioned his name because he did it. He goes, all I'm going to do is just laugh for the whole set, and he did a 10-minute set. He goes, and it was by the end, it was crushing. I promise you.
Yeah.
He never said a word.
Never said a word. He just started, and then he'd trail off, and then he'd go.
And
Why are you laughing?
He just did.
Yeah.
He just started laughing because I did that. He knew it was a thing.
Yeah, I understand
funny.
why it is funny. I understand.
That would be a tough special. That would be
Yeah.
a tough Netflix special.
Yeah. I understand it's funny, but it's like, I don't know.
But I do it, and I see comics do it, and I get annoyed with it. I'm like, oh, he's just like, I get annoyed when other people.
Well,
do
there's
it.
a lot of tricks, and
Yeah.
so then people don't realize that there's tricks. Like there's a lot of stuff that you can do that, laughing at your own joke. What's another trick?
You do. I know the one you do,
What?
where you like say the punchline, then you say like 2 or 3 words after it to like trail it off.
Like it.
And so he came
yeah.
at, but if it, like you say,
Yeah.
like a little, like a preposition or a phrase, right?
But I
after
don't.
your
But I would look
punchline.
at it as like that's my rhythm of how I'm not.
You're not. It's
not
like
a
a trick. Yeah, it's not
It's
a trick.
not,
It's just like you're. But I see. I also do. This is like was inside comedy. Where like all of your listeners, like we don't care about this. But I do see a lot of Nashville comics doing you. They're like Nate does this. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Nate kind of does this and it works for him. I'm going to try to do that.
I caught myself putting my hand behind my back like Nate very early on, and somebody called me out,
you're-
and I didn't even know I was doing it.
But
It
you
was-
come for me after Let's
it was
Go, but this
very
guy's
embarrassing.
taking your act.
That is true.
Yeah,
Aaron.
dude.
How about you go? That's the
go.
new thing. You go.
You go.
No, I understand. But people can get influenced.
Yeah.
Like, so everybody's kind of got that. I had a ton of comics I was influenced by and
Yeah.
did. And you got to catch it. Brian Regan was a big one. There were
Yeah.
people and there's still people that do that. And you just got to catch yourself.
That's fine.
That's always
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
just got to catch yourself. And you eventually, when you're young, it's like, yeah, you're going to get influenced by comics.
Yeah.
And so but you end up just kind of, you got to police yourself, or you have
Yeah.
a friend
You're like,
that comes
hey.
and goes, hey man, you're
Yeah.
doing this thing.
I was doing this
And-
Hot Pockets bit, and everyone's like, "That's Jim Gaffigan."
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Well, what's funny, it's not even really always about
A bit, yeah.
the bit. It's about the cadence. And Giannis,
Yeah.
we had Giannis on here. Giannis used to go crazy about that, where he's like, worse than the joke stealing was a cadence stealing. When you steal how someone tells a joke,
yeah,
that's everything, dude. Like that's when
Wow.
if you
That's-
told a
yeah,
joke
yeah,
like
yeah.
Brian Regan, I don't know if I'm trying to think if I could,
you could do like Theo has a very unique way to tell a story.
Yeah.
And you were like,
Mitch
oh,
Hedberg
yeah,
used to do that.
same type thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's doing him.
he's doing him, and so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
figured a way out. So
Yeah.
if you you know how long it took for him to figure that out,
And you
and
just
if you
took
just
it.
walk in and take that
Yeah.
that rhythm and take that cadence from him, that's way worse.
Yeah.
Because then,
It's like stealing their fishing pole versus stealing the fish,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that a good?
No, it's like
He's got
teaching-
I thought that was
he's got
pretty
Walmart
good.
That's
slippers on.
philosophical.
Hey, thank you.
Are those what really
What
drive-
was it? It's like stealing what?
I feel like you teach a man how to. It's like
Yeah.
teaching a man to fish versus giving him fish.
Yeah,
It's like
No.
stealing a joke is like stealing fish from him, but when you steal the cadence,
yeah.
You're stealing every
taking
joke
the
from
fishing
him,
pole.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
Ralphie May. Ralphie May.
Does that make
said,
sense? I
don't think so.
I got less confident in it as I explained it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted you to explain it. And it's
Ralphie May said he's like, yo, they got a bucket, but they can't get to the well. Meaning they can come dip their bucket in your well, but they don't have the source.
yeah.
Somebody taking your jokes. Because
Yeah.
he goes, people steal my jokes all the time. They can dip the bucket in the well, but they ain't got the source.
Yeah.
Well, say a joke, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Say a joke.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like
It's I have a big thing.
That was better than his.
I don't think people steal jokes as much as people think.
I agree with that.
Have we ever talked about that or no?
Yeah, we talked about it early on.
On this, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's way overblown.
I agree with that.
I think I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it doesn't need to be policed by everybody. If you hear someone have a joke that sounds like someone else's joke, people are going to have the same kind of jokes.
Yeah. Where
I don't think it's a gigantic kind of thing.
Like I've heard it probably in the past. I mean, we go to Zanies probably 3-4 times a week if we're off. And it was like, what? So it's like if you walk into a restaurant, you got to wear a mask, but if you sit down, COVID hangs at about 6 feet. Goes right. I've heard that 20 times.
Yeah,
but that's not stolen.
No,
that's just.
No, regular people are doing that.
Yeah. It's not, you'd be like, oh, like if someone else was doing, like I was driving to the mountain and saw a dead horse, they'd be like, okay, that's Nate Bargatze's joke.
Yeah.
That's a very, you know what I'm saying? But
if someone had a dead horse joke,
you'd be like, think we covered that.
I mean, they
topic.
could be, mine's a whole story. Like, I don't, that's what you want your comedy to be, is you want it to be where no one can really.
Can't be stolen.
It can't be told.
Yeah.
Like you almost want someone to be like, I don't, sometimes if they're like, I don't even know why I laugh. Like they don't, like there's no, like there's something that they can't figure out.
So like Brian's act.
Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
you could steal that pretty
on
simple.
the back of a cereal box.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Wait,
I could have the dead horse joke.
That just felt like a very funny
puzzle.
thing. Yeah. It's connect the dots. It's a maze. Trying to find the punchline.
We punched down on this podcast.
Yeah, clearly. This is the only podcast I've ever been on that I just get crushed the whole time. It's fun. Yeah, but I did say that I put it in the group text because I said I saw Bates killing.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to sound like I was.
Bates had a big weekend.
Huge weekend.
I did.
What was your whole weekend?
So I was with Angela Johnson at Stand Up Live in Huntsville.
Name drop.
Thursday, Friday. Well, he just told me to my weekend.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not going to.
Just said I was in Huntsville, but.
Well, it was sold out crowd. I mean, I feel like that would make me sound bigger than I was. Guys, I was doing sold out shows in Huntsville all weekend.
Yeah.
Angela Johnson.
I don't know how Nate feels about that.
Yeah.
And those shows were great. And then I came back Sunday, did my own show at Zanies, headlined that.
How was that?
It was great. A lot of folks there.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't think anybody came just because of me, but
That's
few folks.
Not true.
A few. Well, let me finish.
Oh.
It's very true.
Yeah. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let the boy talk.
A few folks told me they came to Nashville for the weekend and made me part of their weekend. So that's
But
great.
that's what everybody's weekend
That
is.
counts.
That's when you go to shows. That's like when I do shows in Vegas. People come all over.
Yeah.
You're a part of like what they're doing.
Yeah, and I'm like very honored for that.
I mean, you want them to get in the car and drive home right after your show. Like that's the only way to make you.
But
feel good.
I mean, I'm just saying, you obviously have tons of people that come to town just for you.
But they make a whole thing about it.
So you said they were like, we're going to Nashville the weekend of the 12th.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian happens to be there. Or let's
Yeah.
book our schedule around Brian, then stay for the weekend.
Yeah. Whereas they may build a weekend around coming for your show.
Yeah.
But I was very thrilled. There was everyone was great, very nice. And then I left Zanies and went over to the Ryman and opened for Leanne Morgan, and she sold
Let's
out
go.
show there. And that was great. That was the one you were at.
Yeah, because I put in the group text to y'all three. I didn't want to sound like surprised that Brian was killing. I was like, Brian, I wasn't going to be like, oh my goodness, this is unreal. Dude, he's murdering. I was like, he's doing great.
Yeah.
And everybody, Leanne's crowd loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was
unreal.
great.
It was
Leanne
great.
did great.
Yeah.
Leanne did great. Standing ovation.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Man.
Yeah. Me and Leanne Morgan doing
I
a
heard
arena together.
Let's go.
Tupelo, Mississippi. Tickets are on sale, I believe. Now are they on sale? Yeah, they're on. No, it's
I've seen it.
rain. Yeah, it's like a pre-sale. Full. They go on sale full Friday.
What about? I was going to ask if, and I don't know the answer to this because how familiar is everyone here with the other person's act?
Of their acts?
Like, have you listened to his special? Probably not.
No.
Have you listened to what?
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't follow
But
him
have
on
you
Twitter.
have you seen all? Well, I got in trouble by Brian because I've unfollowed Brian on Twitter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Well,
Well, let me set up the story.
he approaches me at Zanies like I'm like the police investigator. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I heard you unfollowed me."
Picked up the paper this morning and couldn't believe what I read. John Crist unfollows Brian Bates.
Yeah, but you don't like. Have you watched all of his specials on
Yeah,
Netflix?
I've seen all of
Have
Nate's.
you?
I've seen all of Nate's stuff.
Yeah.
But I've seen it.
I've done comedy longer than everybody.
Yeah, but if you ask,
So
have you-
that's like, there's a difference. It's not like there's this, I've done comedy for 18 years. Like,
Yeah.
that's a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I've done it longer than, that's the thing. I'm older than everybody. I've done it,
Yeah.
except for, but as comedy years, I'm way older. Like, and that's how everything's always looked at in comedy. It's not really their age. It's always looked in comedy.
comedy years.
Years.
Yeah, but if
And-
they,
You've also got more stuff out than all of us, obviously.
I've been
So-
doing it forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, your
you've
stuff's
seen
gonna
his,
happen.
so you've seen his act.
He's seen me.
No, yeah,
But you
I've
haven't-
seen his act.
but
I
you
know
haven't-
his act.
You don't watch my videos, probably. Like every once in a while, you'll
I'll see him
one.
on like Instagram. I don't watch.
Yeah, that's what. So I'm not. We all when I show up to play golf, we're all just assuming that the other person sees the other person's stuff. They probably don't.
very loosely. I mean, I probably know his stuff the best just because he's been on the road.
And if
with
he
me
had a
forever.
special come out, you wouldn't listen to it because you've already heard it, right? Or would you listen to it? An
I would-
audio,
when your dry bar came out, I think I looked at that. I saw that
the whole thing.
Yeah, but
Did you watch the whole thing?
I don't think I watched the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's 25 minutes. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
all kind of interact with the others. Like if you do something big,
Yeah.
we'll see
Well,
it.
it's going to
but-
be a matter of what you're doing or where you're at, like where it's like how busy you are, and like I don't get to see mini specials.
But do you ever like interact with someone, like some family, or like, hey, you're like, do you know my bits, or that you're like, do you just assume they don't know anything about you? Someone in the
What-
community or in the neighborhood, you're like,
in
yo,
the
I have
community? That's very funny. Yeah, I'm in my community quite a bit.
well, like at the golf course or something, to be like, oh, do you
Yeah.
know I have like a? Have you seen my thing about this, or you just like leave it alone
Community such a. I've never said that.
in the
Are
community?
you guys pretty active in your communities? You're like, yeah, I'm in the community quite a bit. I talk to a lot of community people.
Like in the neighborhood,
yeah.
that's the community, right?
Well, that's like when you get recognized. The more you get known, is like you have to assume. Like now, I still because now you're in a weird balance where I'll get recognized. You know, it's not every week.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's not an overwhelming amount. I'm not surprised by it as anymore. And like so, then sometimes you assume that they have seen
Your
whatever
stuff.
your stuff.
yeah.
And you mention it. But I mean, if I tell someone, like if I was like, someone brought up a dead horse thing, and I would say to the person,
And they have
oh,
no.
I think, I'm like, I have a joke about a dead horse. And they'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I know. And then you're like, okay, sorry. I didn't know if you knew. I would
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah, you
I would
would-
say that
yeah.
every time. I'm not going to just assume.
You're like, yeah, you
that.
know, like my bit about this.
I'm
What?
like,
You're a
you
comedian?
obviously know I'm a dead horse
Yeah.
comment, right?
Yeah.
And they go, yeah. And I go, obvious. Dude.
Clear. I mean, yeah,
clearly.
yeah.
This is what I
Have
do.
you heard the story with Brian? It's one of my favorite stories where the guy that was at your show.
And didn't recognize me the next day.
Yeah, that you recognized him.
It was actually a girl.
Oh, okay.
But you recognize them.
The next day, I was getting at like a sandwich shop. I was like, "Hey, were you at the Nate Bargatze show last night?" She's like, "Yeah, were you?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, it was the opener."
Yeah. I mean, it's the audience can't even go out. They're like, don't
Yeah.
go out near a show because you're going to get recognized by the opener.
She was wearing a
Yeah.
hat and glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. She goes, I don't know.
He's around here somewhere.
Yeah, the opener's somewhere. He's going to come up and ask for a picture. So make sure you
Don't go out.
yeah.
You're gonna get recognized on the opener. Or that, like, if sometimes you get if somebody says like John, or like they recognize you and you
Yeah.
assume like I was at like a TJ Maxx or something or somewhere
Yeah.
like Ross or like there I go. They go, are you? Do I recognize you? And I go into this like, oh yeah, like I'm a pretty big deal on the internet. They're like,
Yeah.
no, you were here last week. I go, oh, you're like,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
nothing worse.
Yeah, that's where you don't want to say.
You don't want to assume.
You don't want to assume. I mean, I would assume if someone knows, even if they don't know my work, they know I'm a comedian, and like so at least
All right.
like you at least get to a point like that where
They look at you like, where do I know that guy from?
yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I think I've seen.
I was
seen
dude.
some of your
I was
stuff.
wearing an Aaron Weber shirt one time. I've told you this story. I was wearing an Aaron Weber shirt, and a guy goes, "Dude, I love Aaron Weber." And I go, "Dude," he goes, "Yeah, I saw him at in Louisville." Like I was like, "Yeah, with me."
Yeah,
I was.
opening
He didn't
for-
know about me.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about me.
Yeah, I've been recognized, or you've been recognized in front of me.
Yeah, we were at a Opry
I
Mills.
think I
At
took a picture. Yeah,
well, the one thing I'm thinking about is, oh yeah, that was on the street.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
He
different
recognized
time.
you.
And
there
I
was-
took the picture
Yeah,
of them,
that's the
and
best.
then they just left
After the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then that,
Yeah.
oh yeah, so
But there was once at Opry Mills with the movies, and the guy came up and said, "Hey man, I see you as I'm a big fan. Send it to me." And you were right there beside me.
Yeah.
And I said, "He does comedy too." He's like, "Oh, cool, man. Keep it up."
But this is the
Keep at it, dude.
This is a
Yeah.
better way. This is a better way of like being self-depreciating versus like. Have you ever heard like when,
Self what?
self-depreciating? It's 5 syllables.
Deprecating?
Self-depreciating.
Depreciating is
Dep-
decreasing in value.
Yeah.
Which
I've said
That's probably
self-depreciating
happening
for
too.
yeah,
forever.
which that is happening.
Yeah, but
That's
self-depreciating.
He's actually right now that we think
Once
about
it's
it.
like
you
a car
dri-
Oh, yeah,
depreciates
you're
in
right.
Once you
value.
drive him off the lot,
Yeah.
once
It's
he
gone
left the
straight
lot,
down.
it was always going down. You
It
know,
was self-deprecating. All right. Well, you
you
know
fit
that.
in with this podcast, by the way.
Have you ever? I used to open for comics. They were like, if you were like, you would stand out there after the show, the opener and the headliner. He's like, hey, don't. Like the biggest insult you could do to the main comic is take a photo in front of him, or like the main comic doesn't want to be up like by the opener.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, don't say that too loud that you love me, because the main is like an egomaniac and he can't handle it.
Yeah,
You could obviously handle that. You'd be like fine with someone recognizing Brian and not you.
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, that's funny to me too,
Yeah.
but not
Funny
all
now.
comics are
I
like
mean, if
that.
it happened a ton, I'm sure I would
You'd
get
be
a
like,
little
start to
annoyed
annoy
by
you.
it. Like, yeah, if it was like overwhelming, like, all right, I got to do something.
Yeah.
This is clearly
I just did a radio interview in O'Fallon, Missouri, because the show I
Name
did there.
drop.
And they knew me. Obviously, they knew Aaron because he was there the week before. Did
Yeah.
not know Nate.
Oh, yeah.
I was pitching the Nateland podcast. They had no idea who you
Yeah,
were.
never
those
heard
small places are not into comedy.
Yeah, they're not into you. Yeah, they're too. Yeah.
You're like the Nateland podcast, Nate Bargatze and Aaron Weber. Oh, Aaron Weber's on it?
They loved Aaron.
I love that guy.
Aaron Land.
He came through.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I will give Aaron Land a shout out. Their Instagram page.
It's hilarious, isn't
It's
it?
very, very
I have no
funny.
idea who's making it, but they're
I don't know.
funnier
It's
than me.
very. I haven't
I've seen.
followed
I've
him yet,
seen
but I
Dusty
will.
reposted it.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him because I want to look at him more. So go follow Aaron Land. It is very, very funny.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
very
Yeah.
funny.
It's great.
Yeah, so
They're
if you show
so
up,
specific. You're
you're not going to get any of it, but if you get it, you're like, it's the best.
if
thing
you
ever.
get it, it's the
Exactly.
best. It's like golf memes
Yeah.
to me. Golf memes are the funniest memes I've ever seen in my life, and most people don't get it.
Mhm.
But like,
Yeah, no
God,
idea.
they're the
If you
best.
get
dude.
it-
like, and so Aaron Land's
Yeah.
like that. And keep it like that, Aaron Land. That's
Don't-
what
yeah.
makes it so great.
Don't go
So
mainstream.
specific.
He's like, it's not even me.
Yeah.
It's somebody else. That's
The
like my.
Nateland theme park was also great.
Oh yes, that's right. We got a Nateland
Oh,
theme park.
dude.
That was great too.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very specific for stuff on the
Yeah,
podcast.
I
like
love.
it.
Yeah, we're all about specific.
I made a video about vacationing on 30A.
Yeah.
Like if you get it,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, this is unbelievable. But 99% of people, it would never get
No,
any of the jokes.
I don't even know what 38 means.
But
That's
if you
like-
have you
It's
ever
like,
been there?
wealthy
you-
white people go. To
If you've been there, you're like,
I figured
Yes,
that.
that's what. Yeah, that's what he. That's what his comedy's for. It's
it's not true.
Niche
it's,
group.
yeah,
I'm a man of the
it's a
people.
high
Yeah.
end. You know,
Yeah.
he does
He's like-
1% comedy.
Yeah.
That means in his show, there's only 1% of comedy. The rest of it's laughing at his own jokes.
I'm gonna get called out for this weekend. I feel it. Oh, it's not gonna be out by this weekend. I'll be good. Yeah.
No, it'll be out
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
right?
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
1% of comedy.
Is today Monday? No, today's
Tuesday.
Monday.
Tuesday. It comes out tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So if somebody is doing something that you follow on the internet that's annoying, you
Yeah.
just unfollow them. You wouldn't be like, hey, can you not
It's
laugh?
tough. Well,
You just,
so
but you guys are being honest with me. That's what they told me in rehab. If someone can be honest with you, then you should trust them.
yeah.
So
Well,
you say, no more mommy, no more laughing at my jokes, no more let's go. Is there anything else now that we're here?
How much time do we
How
have?
long do you want
Yeah.
this to be, dude?
yeah,
It's a two-parter.
yeah.
He's back.
I don't
People
care for the shirt you wore today, but I think that's no. I'm wearing a Vandy. Like,
But do you-
I can speak.
I was gonna
gotta-
say,
I know. I'm wearing like I'm a Vandy's at the Cultural Studios. So I have
Oh.
Do you know our material though? You obviously don't know mine because you were
Yes.
so surprised Sunday night. When you saw me do it.
I wasn't.
You said
No, I
that. You said,
wasn't.
"Where did this material come from?"
I did. Well, it was great.
Well, it's probably new material.
No, he only sees me on New Material Monday. I'm talking about the Ryman show.
At the Ryman.
Yeah, but you can't. No one's watching anybody on that Monday.
Yeah, where
show.
would-
But that's my point. He sees
he's-
me at New Material. He doesn't see my go-to jokes.
Yeah, but that's
Because of-
not like a bad thing. Like that's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one's
but-
watching that. Like,
Oh, where would I have seen that? Those jokes.
and if you're a younger
That's the
comic,
point.
no one you can't expect someone.
But I know your stuff because I follow Trey Kennedy. So
Okay. Wow. No, come on. How long has he been holding that in?
I was going to say that's
Yeah.
been in the holster for.
That's the only
a
reason he
while.
started the pod. That's the only reason he did the podcast was to get that out. He asked me every week, "Is John
A year ago.
coming on?" And I go, "I don't know. I guess we're having him on at some point."
He's like, "Oh,
I
Because
got a
it's
good one.
Yeah.
I got
Please
one.
have him on.
I got one ready for him.
You and Trey are close, though, right?
Yeah, we're buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to his wedding like a month ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do y'all have? Y'all have.
What are you
How's
about-
y'all's relationship?
What are you about to ask?
What is funny? You're very similar.
Yeah,
Right?
people
Don't say
people
that?
send me like bits of, or people tell me all the time about his
Yeah.
bits. I go, it's not mine, but
Yeah.
all right. I just go, all right, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I don't really interrupt it,
No. You're both
like-
very funny at it.
but it's because we look the same.
I mean,
and also
I
he
think
said
your
very-
mannerisms. That's what some of y'all's mannerisms could kind of.
He didn't even say he's like, you're very funny at it. He meant like he didn't mean stand up. He meant like whatever y'all are doing over
That's
there on
not
the internet.
stand up.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean Trey. Yeah.
It's you're doing videos.
But Trey has an hour of. He has a live show.
oh
he's
yeah.
been doing a live show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
There
go
you
out
go.
with him.
I opened for him in Huntsville.
Yeah.
And he kills, man. He sings songs.
Yeah.
Like like whose
a good
line
show.
where Wayne Brady would bring a girl up and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sing to her. He does that and he just kills, man.
That's
People
it.
love it.
Yeah. Nate's
He's a good
closer.
dude,
He took Nate's closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
If people build their own world up and they have their own audience, I'm all about it.
I've
So
said the
do
same
whatever you
thing.
want.
I've said the same thing
Yeah, I don't
about people that come through Zanies. I go, well, everyone here is trying to sell tickets, and you filled it. So
yeah.
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 That
Yeah.
should be
Hard
said.
to knock anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, if
And
you-
everybody, like, let's say, like, I'm trying to think of who, like Jerry Seinfeld would never bash Carrot Top, or Carrot Top would never bash Larry the Cable Guy, because I would assume that all the guys up there don't trash on the other guy that's up there because they know how hard it is to get
It's
up
hard
there.
to get up there.
Like, who's the guy that does the puppets?
Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
He would never like trash like.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine anyone
You would be
that's
like, it's a
His
funny
puppets
act.
would, but he
yeah,
would never.
yeah.
You would say it's a funny act. Like his act is great.
Who would say that?
I'm saying that's what everybody would say about each other.
Yeah, we're like,
No, he's got a great act, dude. And you got to do
Great
like,
act. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that. This is my own problems where
Yeah.
I deal with my own. Like it's like as a stand up, and then what I
Yeah.
do. Like I get very defensive and very
Of stand up, of pure stand
yeah.
up.
You get like you get lumped in
Yeah.
sometimes, and you want to be like, no, dude, that's not what I do. That's
and then
not what
would it be fair
I
to
like.
me if I've been doing stand up for 10 years and I was doing stand up long before I was ever doing videos? I'm now like Lucy would always make fun of me, like introduce me as like a YouTube sensation to make fun of
Yeah.
what I think that's funny. But they're like, because they're like, oh, he's with those guys. Well, you would say I would be with those guys, and everyone would say I was with those guys.
I mean, what do you think you're with? You think you're with stand-ups, with comics?
I would like to say so, but I know that's
Yeah.
not I know that's not true. Everyone's like, dude, we love you from not my stand-up
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter really what they. I guess if you're a stand-up, because I mean, people know, David Spade. No one knows him from
No.
stand-up.
Yeah. But he fills the place.
Yeah, but I mean, so it's like, but I mean, you'd be in the same kind of
It's like
idea where
yeah.
you're like,
We're going to see him.
People are coming to see you for whatever they're coming to see you for.
Yeah.
It's and then when they come see you, but they know you're a stand-up comic. I
And-
don't
Yeah.
think they expect it. I don't think they
Okay.
expect you to like see. I think they know they're coming to see a stand-up.
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
I think-
for sure.
And most YouTubers or people are disappointed because they don't have an act. You have an act.
Yeah.
Some people are disappointed, but not
But most
yeah,
aren't,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, they're
No, but
so
there's
they're
an
like,
act.
this is
you gotta have an
unbelievable.
act. That's the
Yeah.
that's the point. that
Well, like if
gotta
you go
have.
to see, like I remember when in Practical Jokers, they were doing like Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
and no one knew what the show was.
yeah,
They're like, we like those guys.
Yeah.
Let's go see what it is.
and then they create a show that's great.
And that's
You got to
yeah,
create
yeah.
a show. Like that's what it is. You got to build an act, and that's
Yeah,
what And it's some of it is like they're it's like being a I don't know. You're like I don't know. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a stand up, and like so then I joke about the other stuff.
You know the Greatest Showman? That movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I got it.
All right, so it's about the circus, and then so it was like people that were like 7'1", and they were
Yeah.
like, "Dude, let's get that guy out. He's a circus crazy." And then he goes, "Well, why don't we put him on stilts and make him 15 feet tall?" And then he got in trouble because the fat man, he was
Yeah.
like 250 pounds. Like, why don't we stuff him full of pillows and make him 800 pounds? And he got in trouble. He goes, "Because it's not real." And he goes, "But the laughter was real."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, that's not, you're like, but so whatever you do puppets or you do guitars or you're like, but everyone had the time of their life in there.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all trying to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
You're like, it's not. So if some guy plays a guitar or all the things that we say are not
Yeah.
true comedy, one guy, he holds his, or he does act outs, or he does like, we used to say like too many like act outs. He's doing, it's not traditional, a guy with a microphone talking.
Yeah.
That's all is allowed to be.
Well, like teams like someone's cadence they got to take. Like Dane Cook was someone that like a lot of people took his that movement, the way he prowled around
Kind
stage,
of came and went.
and a lot of people. No, I'm saying like they started doing that.
Yeah.
And I think it was a lot in L.A.
Oh,
like,
in a good way.
No, I'm saying we're talking about taking cadence.
Yeah.
I'm kind of back to the cadence
thing.
thing.
I got you. Yeah.
Or whatever they do. A lot of people took Dane Cook stuff because Dane Cook would, the way he moved and walked on stage, and then a lot of comics that worked. So
well, look at
like
what Sebastian does. It's unreal. I think it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he did an act out of a guy on a bird scooter. He's like, "You're 56." I can't do it, but he goes, "It was unreal," and he acted it out with it was. But somebody would say, "Oh, he's just like milking the."
Yeah, but it's like you're painting the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I got to get better. Sometimes I can be too purist. Like I want it to be too. I paint the picture with the words.
Yeah.
And I'm even trying to get it. You get a little movement. I got a little more movement in my act, especially if you start doing theaters. You got to move a little bit more.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I'm all over the place. Doing theaters.
All my shows are theaters. Yeah. But hey, tell the story about the act out about the guy that I followed on Josh's show, Josh Black's show.
I don't think I can tell that. I'm trying to think of it.
All right. Yeah. He had a. Well, you can't tell it, but he had a bit about a woman with an oxygen.
Is Josh Black and where's he at?
He's here.
I know.
He's a Nashville guy.
Oh.
And so John did his show, and John had to follow one of the top 5 hardest I've ever seen anybody kill at the club. And the guy named Mike Drew.
Oh,
and now he had a very elaborate
I'm nervous.
act out,
I'm nervous revisiting
very
this.
elaborate act out involving the mic and the mic cord and the stool.
No, a girl on an oxygen tank, and he had it up to here. And the stool was the oxygen tank. He was pulling it around.
He was doing all.
He was murdering.
Killing where you like saw people start to come back inside, like what's happening? And
they were like he was dragging around the stool upside down and had the mic cord around the top of his head, which going right under his nose.
And then John had to go up next.
And he was crushing so hard.
Yeah.
And I can't. I got nothing for this. I got nothing. And they're up next, John Crist. I was like, dude, just close the show on this guy.
Yeah. Did you walk on stage with using a stool as a walker and like you start going? Yeah. That's what you should have done.
Like, oh man, this is unbelievable. Yeah. So you say like that? Is that cheating? I wouldn't say so.
No, if I mean, it sounds very funny. No, it's not cheating. It's not because it's.
I thought it was unbelievable.
People are going to do whatever they're going to go do. If it's original, I don't think I will never be upset.
Yeah.
I think it's when it's not original and it doesn't feel original.
Yeah.
Or feel authentic to what that person does.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. If you do it, like I have no problem with Carrot Top at all.
Yeah.
I think Carrot Top's unbelievable and one of the greatest ever.
I laughed for 90 minutes straight at that show.
Because and when people trash Carrot Top, it's like, who's doing what he's doing? Nobody.
Yeah.
He's actually maybe the most original. Out of all of us.
Oh, good point.
And so
he's using props. No one's using props.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just everybody wants to make fun of him for whatever dumb reason. Because they're not, but then half the people that make fun of him, their act is terrible to begin with.
Yeah.
And so Carrot Top is wonderful, dude. He's terrific.
It's
very funny. Larry the Cable Guy. It's very funny. He's doing a million jokes.
Nobody's doing that.
No one's doing what he's doing. So like if you're original, I'd have no problem. I have no problem. Sebastian, you have no problem with acts being different than me.
You should be different.
it's the original aspect of it that I think that's when I'm kind of like, all right. Or if I
Right.
feel like you're doing a bunch of tricks.
Yeah,
If you're doing an
tricks.
act out and you're selling what you're
Because the
making
joke
people
isn't
picture,
strong enough, you doing it. Yeah.
if you're doing like if it's tricks, and I feel like
Yeah.
you don't even have, there's nothing even there.
Yeah.
And the only reason you're getting laughs is because like is for that guy to have all that stuff like that, it's like that's very thought out and like he's making it look like that.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
very, very funny.
Yeah.
And like so because he's doing it that way. But if
He's doing
you're
like
And he didn't even bring any extra props on stage. He used what the stage gave him.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's what I felt. I was like, because I grew up in church. My dad's a pastor. I worked at Chick-fil-A. I was like, I was doing all these, like somebody.
you worked at Chick-fil-A?
I worked at Chick-fil-A. Yeah. But I was like, I remember being in LA and trying to like, my agent or somebody was like, hey, don't tell any of these Christian jokes. Like no one really gonna get it. Or it was like and then I was like, what's the difference between texting and driving and all like very generic stuff.
Yeah.
But I was killing with these like very me and then somebody goes, hey, I saw, I don't know who it was, somebody at the Comedy Magic Club doing a joke about Moses and the burning bush.
Yeah.
And I got off, and she was murdering. And I go, what's happening? She goes, I don't know. It's a story. She's like, yeah, if you didn't know it, I kind of
Moses was in the Bible.
And everyone this is in LA, and there's like, everyone was dying laughing.
Yeah.
I go, oh, okay. So everybody knows about the stuff. So I'm just going to start talking about it. And then I've been like a Christian comic, and then every time I go into freaking Zanies, and this guy's doing Christian material, just stealing my act. It's like I thought I was the only guy, but now Brian Bates is like, dude, what's up with growing up in church? I'm like, this is my act, but all right, look at him laughing. It's not saying anything, dude.
No, I'm worried about you stealing mine now.
I talk about my parents or us growing up Christian. We're still Christian, but it's but growing up, just a little bit of my act.
But that is who you like. If you say,
just talk about like being raised that. But I mean, a lot of people, everybody talks about that. Like everybody talks about Catholic or whatever.
Everybody,
like, everybody does it. Yeah. I could see that where they tell you, someone says don't do it, but then you're like, you got to just be you. It's like if you're gonna sell that stuff, and that's the world that
you got to just be.
Yeah, you have a unique upbringing. I mean, you have a bunch of brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
big
7.
family, 7.
Yeah.
Come from a big family.
Yeah,
like
huge. Dad's a pastor.
Yeah.
Growing up in the South.
So it's like, you're going to
talk about
grow up. Yeah, just talk. Yeah. I mean, we talked about Tim Hawkins, but Tim Hawkins was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah. Still is. Yeah.
When I went and watched them.
But if you go to like let's see, I saw Sebastian this weekend. He's like Italian family. I was like, I'm not Italian family, but I would like to, I get it.
Yeah.
I got a big Italian family. They like to cook. They like to like talk behind people's back or whatever. I go, I'm not really that, but I'm with it.
People like relatable.
Yeah.
And relatable is something that really sells well to audiences. And because they want, it's like they don't, you get to hear your life being made fun of kind of
if
in
it's
their way.
you.
It's through you, but like they get to go, no, we're all the same, dude. No one's, I know I've talked about original, but I've always think no one's really original. Like,
nobody.
Kind of, that doesn't. But I want your act to be original and come from have a different point of view, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as audiences, when we all go sit out there, we're all basically the same guy. All of us grew up basically the same way.
Yeah.
Not really that much different. There could be different parts, whatever.
Yeah.
But we all went to church. We all did this stuff. Blah blah.
We all played sports in high school, or
And if you go to California, a lot of people grew up in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
But they all grew up the exact same kind of. Everybody kind of grew up.
You're getting in trouble by your parents. Your parents were this. You try not to. Yeah, it's everybody. Yeah. But I was at the Leanne Morgan show, who was like, I'm not the demographic for that show.
Yeah.
But I thought it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there was one joke about like, she can't shop at Victoria's Secret anymore. She shops at Soma. And I go, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Context clues.
Yeah, I got to do a joke about like, you can't name your kid like a Bible name if it's a weak kid. I got a nephew named Ezekiel, named after the warrior in the Old Testament. This kid's got a peanut allergy. It's like, you don't know Ezekiel, but you're like,
I'm Catholic. We don't read the Bible, and I had no idea who Ezekiel. I had heard the name,
but
Ezekiel.
You get the joke.
I don't know the story, but I get the joke.
Yeah, so you're like, I'm a little out.
Your
on
brain
this.
go to Ezekiel Elliott first.
No.
Is that the first thing that you thought?
But would you say?
Okay.
Would you say like
strong running back? That is dumb to compare that kid to the Cowboys running back. Oh, the Bible.
So you don't want somebody to come to your show and to Nate Bargatze show and be like, "Oh, I'm out on this," but you're like, But someone that loves you because they're in. If they grew up the very same way, or their dad was, or their parents were, there can be different levels of connection to you're like a Christian mom from the South, but loves me, but like the husband will have a good time.
Yeah,
it's not like
tolerated.
And
they but when they come to the show, you want them to. I mean, you still want to be. No one grew up with a magician dad.
Yeah, you don't want to be like anyone else's dad. He's a magician. Like,
it's
no.
You got to have the things that make you kind of. There is something that's kind of different. But it's like in the grand scheme of things, like my marriage is like a lot of people relate to that marriage. Like but I think I play a lot to women. Like there's a lot of things that a lot of wives. You know, like I know nothing about our money, or I don't know anything about banking. Where a lot of times it is women that do all that stuff, but sometimes the women are like, the joke of no, don't give my wife the credit card. She's going to go spend stuff. That's the most common joke ever. Well, that's me in our marriage. Is my wife doesn't want me to have a credit card because I'm going to go do whatever, and she's going to be So,
but that stereotype does exist in the brain of everyone.
It does, but it's a matter of who relates to it. So, that's when sometimes I can see 4 wives come out to a show and their husbands don't come, and like they get it. There's going to be parts where they relate to me, and parts that they're like, "That's my husband."
Do you think the wives asked the husbands and they said no, or they said, we're just better off with the girls?
How do you think that
conversation went?
A girls' night out is what I mean. Some of them that come up and say it, they're like they said they want a girls' night out, and then maybe their dude doesn't care.
He goes, who?
Yeah, I have mainly couples, so it's or it's a lot of generation. I mean, a lot of times it's like grandparents to
everybody.
What do you have
at your shows?
Oh,
like what's your typical audience member?
Well, I mean, there's no. Have you ever heard a guy on guys' night? I haven't.
Had what?
A bunch of dudes on guys' night.
I've had dudes, yeah.
I've never.
I'll have it's like 2 dudes.
But I went to Trevor Wallace's show and it was all dudes, like all frat dudes. I was like, I gotta get in on this audience.
Yeah.
Maybe I should stop doing this feminine mannerisms on this. Everybody's like, is he gay? What's this guy's deal? I was like, I was doing an impersonation of a female.
You showed them.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
No, we're in that 30A video.
Yeah.
I was gonna title it "Every Girl That Goes to 30A." So I was doing but then I was acting, and then I got done with the video. I was like, well, this is kind of everybody.
Yeah.
And then I just posted "Vacations on 30A once" was the title, but I was very like, I'm gonna text this to my boyfriend, but then I was like, well, this is kind of confusing now. Because why is he acting like that?
30. We're going to 38 for the first time.
Yeah, you'll love it
a little bit.
Yeah,
and but I know everybody that in here that all everybody talks about is 30A.
Yeah,
and they love that video.
Yeah,
in your neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, it's all everybody in this neighborhood.
Yeah, they vacation down
30A
there. Yeah.
We never went to 38. You go on the other side of town, we don't even know what it is.
I had no idea.
So you would say City.
That video would be similar to a bit. So like if you are in on that, you're like, this is the most unbelievable bit I've ever seen.
It's going to be the most.
But if you're out, you're way out. There's no.
I mean, you probably would get it. Like every town has their vacation spots or their, that's where everybody goes. I was just clueless of all that. I don't know where people went. But we didn't go to Fort. Like, I mean, we did some stuff, but
like if somebody said, hey, Nate, write a bit about, I'm trying to think of something like smoking weed. Your bit would be like, I did it and then I went to Taco Bell. Like I don't know the weed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the guy to write that joke. I should be writing the 38 joke because that's what I live and know. So you like,
well, you'd write your perspective on it, and so you would, and that's what should make it different.
Versus
you're gonna attack it from a different way that I would hope I wouldn't do the Taco Bell thing.
Yeah,
I would, and some of it would be I would know everybody does that, and so then I would think, well,
you would think of a better angle, even if you weren't understanding of that culture.
How do you come up with a different way? I mean, that's you don't want to say the thing that everybody's saying.
Yeah,
and sometimes doing that though, you end up saying something that's so obvious that's when those are the ones that hit the hardest.
Yep. Yeah.
When when you come up with an idea that everybody's like, God, why didn't I? Like you making fun of 38 could be like, why did I not make fun of 38?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. Everybody gets that joke.
Oh.
So sometimes you're going to going to come up with something that like you're doing it, and then everybody's like, wait, is there? It's like when you think of a joke and you think like, have I heard this joke?
Where did I heard
before?
Yeah.
And then it's sometimes you can't believe that you haven't heard it. And
but
then
it's right there.
So it's right there
like,
that it's going to be like, golly. So it's going to, and then that joke usually destroys.
Yeah, it was very.
But sometimes
simple.
those are the jokes where you could end up finding out there are some similar jokes.
And then there's like a guy on Twitter that is like researched, and he's like, "Look at this word compared to this word," and like, okay,
yeah.
But you and I know a lot of the same Christian comics
lots
out there. Tim Hawkins kind of took it the next level as far as making it a little bit not as hokey and
like a
different type of. And then you took it a step further to make it more modern, mainstream.
I go, he goes, not better, but you took it another step. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, a different way.
Yeah, I think that like Mark Lowry, who was a comic before me, not before me, before Tim Hawkins.
Yeah,
he was the guy.
Yeah,
and then so you're like, are you like really doing like, are these young comics coming up and like, I'm reinventing the game? We're like, yeah, every young comic did.
Yeah,
we all did.
Yeah,
and so Mark Lowry told me he goes, I don't know how you're getting away with saying some of this stuff, because he said the phrase breaking wind when he was coming up, and he got kicked out of a church for that.
Yeah,
for saying that.
Yeah.
And then Tim kind of took it a step farther, and I've taken it a step farther.
Yeah.
But I also think there are people that take it too far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know where the line is.
Like who?
I would like to hear the context for breaking wind.
Yeah, I should ask him. Yeah, he said he called me. He goes, I don't know who you are, but I'm not. This is unbelievable. What you're doing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He goes, this is incredible. I go, what? I mean, I don't know.
Growing up in a, Southern Baptist, my high school wasn't allowed to dance. We couldn't have a prom.
Yeah, this isn't like in the 1700s. This is like in the
97 when I graduated. I don't know if they can dance now. I mean, the parents would end up having a thing off site where they could dance.
Yeah.
But a lot of Christian schools, they weren't, and a lot of it wasn't like the younger Christian, but you could tell that there was still, you had teachers that were in their 60s and 70s. So they would have grown up, a lot of it's just like, it eventually gets like, they allow dancing because the older people kind of move on, and then people my age are then like, it doesn't matter if they dance.
Yeah.
And so now I don't care if they dance, and people my age don't. And then, but I have other things that I don't want them to do. And then the next people come up, and then they knock that stuff out. Everything changes. It just takes time for it to change. But
not necessarily a bad.
So like
thing.
I can see like breaking wind. I mean, there's times like I've been cleaner, I think, than a church. I've heard the pastor say stuff like he'll do a drug joke.
You're way cleaner than me.
And then
you say that?
Yeah,
way cleaner.
Actually, yeah.
I got a lot.
I never thought about it, but definitely.
I mean, I make a references to all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like, but you wouldn't be like in like a Christian comedy.
No, but but I talk like I always think.
But you do church. You've done a church before, yeah.
But I always say there's a lot of murder. Like I'm like, this guy got shot, and my family might get murdered. Like I say the murder a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't curse. I don't talk about sex. I don't curse.
Yeah.
What is that? When is that thing where? Was it article about you or like here are all the Catholic comedians or something?
Yeah, I got.
And he was like, "Wait, what?" Because like people people said that about you about certain. You're like, "Hey, here's all the." You're like, what? Here's the Republican You're like, what? Where did I say that?
Yeah.
They like to assume.
Well, they assume because you're in an area.
And they like to put.
Yeah.
So that's what it's always been about me with like Christian comedy. It's like, I'll do that. Been doing the clubs long before. So is it a matter of how many churches I've done, or is it about what are the rules?
Well, that would be. I mean, do you see why they would think?
100%. No. I don't begrudge it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But he's not in it. But he does with me. He goes everywhere with me.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense.
Why he's they label him as a Catholic comic,
and there's nothing as
the
act
fact
about
that someone's writing about him is amazing. So. that's
He wrote the article.
yeah. I think it's a blessing.
I don't care what you label me.
Pin name.
He goes, I'm in the top 10. I'll take it.
Yeah. Top 10 Catholic comedians. That's an amazing
Number
accomplishment.
9.
Yeah, but if somebody's like, "Oh, this is like don't all like the women on the comedy shows like don't say like here's your first female comic of the
Yeah.
night. Just say I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Don't say I'm here's your first like the Latino comic or
people
like.
are gonna write like, but people are just
But that's
gonna
on
write,
them
like,
to
stuff.
decide.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's
on
how
your-
you I don't think like I was never Southern comic, but I started in New York.
Oh
like, in
yeah,
Chicago,
Southern,
New
oh, yeah,
York.
good point.
I didn't come up in through the South in the fact that like
Yeah,
coming up
yeah,
the South
yeah,
is a lot of you go to a lot of comedy clubs, you're featuring,
yeah.
you got to come up that way. Where
Yeah.
I was in New York, and so
Yeah.
I'm associated with that, and I think that's why I wasn't this thing. It's not like I was never not a Southern comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, I sounded like this, in New York, but I was there.
But you're not if like you find out like, oh, Kid Rock's not from here. He's from or like, oh, Larry the
Detroit.
Cable Guy's from Omaha. Or like,
Yeah,
oh, like I don't think I care. Do you? That it's not this. I need him to grow up on a farm in Alabama. I was like, I love the show. I love.
well, Nebraska is
Or
pretty
whatever, like-
farm. I mean,
Yeah, but it's not the South. But he's
it's not
I
the
don't think he ever
South, but
says
it's
the South.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a big Nebraska fan. Like, I mean, it's pretty. The Midwest has their Southern kind of thing. He
Yeah.
might play to a Southern crowd because we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
But they do all those things, so he plays to them just as much.
But it's not It's
But
not
he also went and
inauthentic.
sold out. I mean, he could sell out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so that audience is everywhere.
But he didn't grow up in like San Francisco trying to do a thing. It's like
it's not a completely different.
it's it's with,
him.
It's with
you've golfed with him. I just golfed with
yeah.
him.
It's within
It's him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
when you-
it's definitely him.
When you
Yeah.
talk to him, you're not going like, "Oh, you're a different person."
Yeah.
Right.
But if you find out like Eric Church, I think he grew up in like Detroit with like a rich family or something. You're like, does that make the music? I love I'm obsessed with his music. Am I like, oh, bummer? Or does it? I don't know. You're like,
Eric
oh.
Church is like someone I'm like, I hear his name more than anybody. Then I'm like, what? I don't even know what he sings.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the legend.
Is
I think
he-
he's got a bunch you would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is
right
it not?
along.
Yeah, is that what people think of that?
He sold
Like,
more tickets than Taylor Swift in Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, I know. That's what's crazy. Where I'm like, who?
We've had this
Where
discussion
is this
before.
I love
Like,
Eric Church.
so do I, dude.
I'm
know,
not saying,
I know.
yeah,
He's my
I could
favorite
love
artist.
Eric Church,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, Eric Church is like someone I'm like, I don't know. I almost don't know what he looks
Hey,
like.
John, sing some of the worst lyrics from one of his songs.
Oh, like I did
to us together.
Thank you guys coming out tonight. You're like, what song is that? You're like,
It's from the live.
that's it's Hotel California. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. You didn't do that part.
It's
Yeah.
just over when it's
So this song I
over,
wrote, me and my
ain't it,
buddies-
baby, ain't it? Yeah,
It's a great album.
This song me and my buddies wrote one night.
That's a funny
And I go,
bit.
okay, you don't know that song?
One night. Well, sing more. of
Stairway
it.
to Heaven. Oh, yeah, just say that. No, why don't you say that part? Bam, 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 bam.
Hotel California. Well, that's not really the words. On a long, lonesome highway. Yeah, just get to the
Yeah, get
point.
the
Yeah.
You remember that Springsteen song by Eric
Yeah.
Church? You remember that Springsteen?
Springsteen.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean,
All I want to do is get a drink in my hand. You never heard that song?
Yeah.
Let me do it better. All I gotta do is put a drink
Yes.
in my hand. See, yes.
oh, that was terrible. You're a music guy.
Come on,
Golly,
dude.
and Catholic, you're a Catholic music guy. You're not going to embarrass.
Catholic music comedian.
That's why you're not the top 5.
Maybe number one Catholic music comedian.
Oh, maybe.
Think
I
about,
don't know. Gaffigan sings in his act.
but you play the piano
Ooh.
and you can do that stuff.
Oh.
And then, that you ever think about like what you could be in history? Like everybody has something that you could be like,
Yeah.
like right now, I'm the only person in history that's
Mhm.
knocking on the table with 2 hands.
Yeah.
I'm the only person in the world at
I've
this
thought about
moment
that.
that's doing this.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then
Yeah.
you could be like,
Probably
yeah.
not.
Huh?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Out of 8 billion people, there's probably
Yeah.
somebody else knocking.
How many people are doing this and talking about this and doing
With
it
two of
like
your
this?
thumbs
Oh, yeah,
up.
At
talk
this
about
rhythm,
Yeah.
everything. The only person.
I
in the
thought
world.
about that last weekend. I was in New York City one night, then Opelika, Alabama, and then Alaska. And I was like, I might be the only person ever to make this 3-day trip.
Yeah,
Ever.
ever,
I don't, yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
No one's ever done
What do you
it.
think for me as a comedian that I could be like my niche? The only guy's ever done.
Huh? What is
He's he's the only Christian music or number one guy, and John's whatever John does.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Like I need to find my own thing.
Yeah,
that
to find your thing.
the top guy in my niche.
I think you could be the. I think you could do. Well, from what I saw on is all the married later in life. Those jokes kill.
Yeah.
Kill.
Yeah, that audience. Never single till they're 50, then get married. I mean,
And meeting. Is that true that you
it's
met
gonna be a lot
earlier
of
in life?
discount tickets.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
A lot of BOGOs.
a lot of
the top BOGO comic out there.
yeah.
Yeah, the club called me and said I won tickets for my birthday. Your birthday's in November. I don't know. They called me. Said I got free tickets.
Top 10 BOGO comics.
Yeah. What's BOGO?
Buy one, get one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's still enforced the 2-drink minimum. though,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Number one BOGO
Yeah.
on the scene.
On the scene.
Just wait it out. Don't be a discount.
Yeah.
I just
But
got my
everybody still comes alone. No one can find the other person to go with. It's the you're the number one. Anybody sitting here comic? That's how everybody sits. That's the whole everybody in the audience. Is anybody sitting here? No. You can sit there, and then and that's how the crowd gets going.
Everybody here on the BOGO? Everybody goes nuts.
I just got my sheet for Zanies, like the breakdown. You see the ticket prices decrease the closer it got.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 people that bought it at 20, and then by the end, people just get in free.
Yeah.
That was your first. Did we ever tell that story? You're on. You know, you get paid for. So people might not know, but on Sirius Radio, and Pandora and all that kind of stuff. If people play your albums, you get money.
Yeah.
And in your first when you signed up for it.
Yeah. I was the first comic who actually owed them money.
Wait, what happened?
So it's a thing called Sound Exchange.
Yeah.
And if there's any comics listening to this, if you don't have anything up, you sign up for Sound Exchange. I think everybody kind of knows about Sound Exchange now.
Yeah.
But it's a really great thing where they go and get they track your plays on stuff and you get paid. And there's a lot of comics that if they don't sign up for it, there's just money they could have out there.
Yeah. Where who's playing it?
Sirius, Pandora.
They just pick it up and start spinning it?
No, it's like just you get paid for you have to get paid. The artist has to get paid
Somehow. That's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Why'd
Sirius.
you owe them money?
Well, I'm about to tell the story. Sirius it gets played on there, and then you sign up, register for Sound Exchange, like he said. So now you get paid monthly, but you used to get paid quarterly. And comics are always complaining, like, is this right? I don't feel like I should be getting money. And I wasn't getting any payments for like months. I'm like, I don't understand. I know I'm still getting played. Mm-hmm. So I finally got someone on the phone and they said, well, we overpaid you for a while because there's another Brian Bates who's a musician.
Yeah.
So you actually owe us $728.
No way.
So for a year, they were just taking it. Like I didn't have to pay them, but they were just breaking it down. So I would see my breakdown. I'd be like, oh, I'm at minus 258 now.
You just started a tab with them.
Yeah. He owed no money.
So I'm the only comics in the whole. I owed Sound Exchange for a year.
So besides Brian, everybody else, it's a really upswing.
Well, that could be his thing then.
Yeah.
That's your thing, dude. Yeah, the BOGO comic.
Yeah. BOGO comic.
Oh, my.
Anybody sitting here? These seats taken? No. Love you. Yeah.
Are we still doing the social distance? No. All right. Okay. No.
Would you, so like being a Christian comic, if that's like with, were you trying not to be that? Because I mean, it's like people always talk about that, the label of a Christian comic.
Yeah.
And, people put something around that very much so.
Like it's
in
bad.
The fact, like it's bad.
Yeah.
Like it's a bad thing. And, which it's not. I mean, obviously we've talked about like, if people are not familiar with Tim Hawkins or.
But that would go for all Christian art.
Yes.
Music, movies. It's like
if you label yourself that.
Yeah.
That's the essentially what you don't want to do. Like in the fact that like, or that's what I thought of, a lot of at the beginning, not that it's not like when I moved to New York, I go, I'm doing it because I don't want to be this thing.
Yeah.
But I did, like when I moved to New York, I mean, I was always still just clean and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I can just play in those places.
But you didn't want to it's like
I didn't want to be labeled that. But there's a point that
yeah.
I did when I was clean. I didn't want to be labeled a Christian comic.
Yeah, I'm not like you won't find anywhere on my website that I'm a clean comic, that I'm a Christian comic. I mean, I talk about and if that's what the category you want to put me in, then I got no problem with that. Yeah, it's not. But but that's for, like you said, that's them to decide.
Yeah.
That's if that's uncomfortable. But then
if you're just doing church, like and then it's like, I think it's almost like who you maybe put yourself around.
Yeah.
Maybe that as you come up, like it's who you're around. But I think a lot of people should do that more. Like they should get into that world. Like there's a gigantic world for that. And a lot of great and there's a lot better comics like that are, there's more, are not better, but there's more of them.
Yeah.
There's more comics now that are in the Christian world, and they're specifically playing to that audience, which I think you were a big part of. In the fact that like you going to make fun of the church, like when you started doing stuff, it showed people like, oh, it's okay to go make fun of us in this.
But
church.
like the first video I ever had that went viral was called Christian Music, How It's Made, and it was like very like insider. I was like, well, hey, just like it was a Christian music producer, and everybody in the comments, I never forget this. We're like, is this guy a Christian? Yeah. Because if he is, this is the funniest thing ever. But if he's not, this is the most offensive thing ever.
Yeah.
So they were like, we need to know, is this guy in with us or is he not? Because if my brother is making fun of my mom, I'm dying laughing. But if somebody else is making fun of my mom, I want to kill him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you're in it with us.
You gotta be one of us.
Yeah. But that's comic. All comedies like that. If you're making fun of a city or a ethnicity or something that you're not.
Yeah.
But if you're with them, like it's almost like it's hilarious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting to, I mean, you start out, I guess you don't know what you want to be, and you don't want to be this thing.
But you want to be you, though. You want to be you. Yeah.
But it is, I do think, I mean, comics should do it more like, it's definitely a path that there's. But
it's the only one that also has a moral code with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one's like, if you're just, but you're like, oh, wait, what? Mm-hmm. Hold on. What? And also no one knows what the code is.
Yeah.
Because like Justin Bieber.
Comedy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or Justin Bieber is a Christian.
Yeah.
Why? Everybody knows that. He progresses, he proclaims Christ and all of his.
Yeah.
But he's also like, but he came to Christianity later. So he could like still like smoke weed or still like have a photo in his underwear. But like, yeah, it was Justin Bieber. And Christians love him because like he's one of us. But I'm not on that. I grew up in it, so I'm on the different.
Well, it's
code.
But it's if they found you, it's how they find you.
Yeah, maybe.
And so they find you through that. So they find like I would say a lot of people found you through church.
Yeah,
and you were going and doing the big tour. Like you were starting to get into that other world where you're doing theaters and not do churches.
Yeah,
but your whole first tour is all in churches. Mm-hmm. So. If you're in that world and like, doing that, then it's not he must be. You are. Like,
you are that. Yeah.
You are that. Yeah. And why people like those jokes is because 100%. You are that. Yeah. And so yes, you are going to be held to a different standard in the fact that you're coming there to do your thing. Yeah. Same way, I guess, a pastor could do versus Bieber, who's going to this place that's not associated with this.
Yeah, good point.
And then he happens just to be this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think people tend to think people want, like it is true that like Justin Bieber can do whatever he wants. And the fact that like you still, it's almost like Christians would look at Justin Bieber as like, well, we're lucky to have him be a Christian, someone that big be a Christian. If he makes a mistake, it's okay. You can be forgiven. Yeah. We're not judgmental. That's our kind of thing. But if you were in it from the beginning.
You're like,
you're like, no, you know better. Yeah. You're not supposed to do that. And then you get too many people on the outside that go, wait a second,
what's going on?
This guy, you're trying to be a Christian, and you're not doing the things that I think you're supposed to do with Christianity. Those are people that have a problem with all of Christianity.
Because everybody's, and everybody would be like, John, are you? For everything that happened to me, are you mad at Christians or do you hate Christians? I was like, no, I mean, if you,
I don't think it was Christians that got. I mean, some got mad at you, but I don't think it's Christians that got mad at you. It was people that are not Christians that are mad about Christianity.
Yeah,
and that's who got mad because they don't. Because then they think you're supposed to be better than this.
Yeah.
And you weren't.
You weren't. Yeah,
and so instead of saying like, so mistakes, so like for, I would hope that most people that are Christians would be forgiven.
100%.
That's if they don't, then what's the point of?
Well, if you say like, hey, you're taking a job at a company where, like me performing in churches, like you taking a job at a company where you have to wear khakis and tuck your shirt in.
Yeah.
You can't be like, this is BS, dude. I should be able to do it. Well, you knew that when you took the job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was that thing, and I did not follow those rules.
Yeah.
And that's 100% fair.
Yeah.
Any consequence from that is 100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you knew that was you couldn't do that. And I go, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You knew what the rules were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
You have to occasionally, I notice, correct, or not self-correct, but like I think you had a video recently about Christian culture. I forgot what it was, but you had to say.
Thanks, Brian. Dude, forget my jokes.
I apologize,
It's
but
not a Christian comment.
but you had to say, guys, you had to correct. Like, I'm not making fun of.
Oh,
Like,
somebody,
sometimes
I'm
people-
like, hey, this
sometimes
is not
people go
me.
too far.
Yeah, or like, hey, it was somebody like, if you want to get, I was making fun of something in the Christian circles, and it was like,
Right.
yeah, go like make fun of this. Like I remember somebody like there was a pastor that got like a DUI,
Yeah.
and he got kicked out of his church, and they were like, John, roast him. I go, are you misunderstanding what I am? I'm not.
Yeah.
That's a guy that's struggling, that is having a heart. That's not funny to me. That's not. But I will make fun of a pastor that drives a Tesla, because that seems.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to
That's-
me,
yeah.
But
No, but that is
sometimes
funny.
they're like, John, get him. I'm like, I'm not the get him guy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Or like I'm not.
That seems insane that they told you to make fun of a guy that had a
Yeah. drinking
drinking problem. Like, that seems like,
You read-
buddy, here we go.
You read through the
because-
Bible. I don't see that in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
pastor. This pastor got caught stealing money, or
Yeah.
I guess that
Oh.
would be funny.
But there's always like
I don't know, a good example. Drinking was such a good example.
There's
that
a
I try to
tricky
think of other
part
examples.
of like let's say every denomination of Christianity has different rules. Catholics
Yeah.
can drink, Baptists can't, Pentecostals can. And so you're like, all right, that's confusing. And then there's like, all right, so the pastor should have a moral code that he can't. But then what about like the worship leader? What about the drummer? What about the guy that
How
cuts?
far down does it
What
go?
about the guy that cuts the grass?
Yeah.
The guy that cuts the grass at the church, is he?
Yeah,
What does he have to do? Can he have a beer with his buddies?
he can. Yeah,
Yeah, but everyone, you're like, what?
It is very true.
Who? What's the?
Well,
what are
they
the
would
rules?
look at the guy that cuts the grass. Like that goes even back to the Justin Bieber thing. He
Yeah.
gets treated the same way, where it's like
He's just.
he's
happy
like,
to-
"Hey, I drink every night." They go, "That's okay." A lot of people drink every night, and then
what about the drummer?
He's,
What if
drummer
he's-
might be okay. I mean, look, it depends on how you
Yeah,
are introduced
That's
to someone.
tricky. It's
Depends how
tricky.
good he is.
Yeah.
If I,
Yeah, that's also
well, how
true.
how
If he's
True.
good, it's
If
fine.
he's good.
No,
Yeah.
I would say the opposite. If he's good, it's not fine. If he's,
Oh, is
if
he-
he,
yeah, yeah.
how important is he in the band?
Oh, yeah.
If he's not,
is he
if
even
he's,
mic'd up?
if he's not mic'd up
Yeah.
and he's not whatever,
Yeah.
then he can do it. Church is the
Yeah.
opposite.
Somebody came to
It's
me.
not like they don't go, he's good enough. If you're good enough, you're held to the higher standard because the most pressure is put on you
Yeah.
because we need you to represent
The thing.
this
You have
to
to
so
carry it
many
for us.
people. And
Yeah.
then you're the voice to all these to
Somebody said to me
younger people.
at the other night after the Leanne Morgan show, there's a bunch of comics, and somebody said something that was like wildly across the line. And she goes, I'm not big enough to be canceled. It's fine.
Yeah.
Meaning like, yeah, if you're the drummer is good enough,
Let's
then
say
yeah.
their name and let's find out.
Yeah.
You know? No. Yeah, but they could be at some point. I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if they, I mean, they can go back. That's where they can go back and
Yeah,
find stuff.
revisionist. Yeah,
Yeah, it's.
But
I would say it's it is interesting to think like who is allowed to do what. It's all but it's if you're honest and truthful,
yeah.
then it doesn't matter. So like
Yeah.
if the lawnmower guy goes, "Hey, I have 8 beers every night.
All right,
I'm
we
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I love God. I'll come to church every
Yeah.
Sunday. That's what I do."
Yeah.
Not one person would tell that guy
Hey,
to
dude.
not do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
But
would be like,
yeah.
they'd be like, yeah. They're like, it'd almost be like they love it. You have some
Yeah.
beers last night? You
This
know it.
guy's
And then he's at
you
church
know
every-
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know it, bro. Yeah.
That's what it would be.
That's the small talk.
That's the small talk.
You
Yeah.
had some beers last
It's like,
night.
you know it.
So, dude.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that cuts the grass probably doesn't go to the church. He probably hates it. He probably like, yeah, I'll just cut the grass. I know.
It
Yeah.
couldn't matter less, but I feel like I need to mention it. At my old church, the guy that cut the grass was the drummer.
Really?
Yeah. His name was Kenny. He did everything at the
Yeah.
church. He'd show up, he'd be directing traffic, he'd cut the grass, and then he'd hop in and play drums.
Yeah.
Do you drink?
I don't know.
One of the top 10 drummer lawnmower guys out
That
there.
guy might be
Yeah.
the only drummer lawnmower.
I
If there's a drummer lawnmower convention, he would be hired to
I like
speak.
how
He'd be the
he-
keynote speaker.
He's sitting on that information for 10 minutes.
Well,
He
I
goes,
was waiting for it.
I mean,
Waiting for the right moment.
yeah, I got a drummer. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, I got something to say about this.
Let's
Like,
go.
all right, what is about that?
But that goes back to the same, like with the like Eric Church stuff. Is like what I was doing was what most of comedian, but I was professing consciously or subconsciously to be a better person than I was.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily say it, but everybody's like, this guy, he's in church. He's probably going
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
read the Bible after or he's
Yeah.
and it's the hypocrisy that people have. If you're a fitness influencer and then somebody sees you in the McDonald's parking lot, you're like, wait, no, you said, or you're your health and fitness coach, and then somebody sees you at McDonald's. You're like, wait, you said you were eating kale. This no, I don't.
not.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and they call it out, which is fair.
But you weren't preaching. I mean, you weren't telling people how to live their lives.
Well, I was
But you're,
trying.
yeah.
No, I'm just
but,
kidding. Yeah. But it's the hypocrisy but that's the Christian or not. Everybody can't stand that. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, it's the idea that
See-
you're in the churches and like people are going like that. If you go to a church, you're expecting you know what to expect as
Yeah.
far as the show and who's going to be there and who's going to
Yeah.
be represented. You're not going to if he's at theaters and arenas and doing stuff outside of that.
all right.
It's a completely different thing. But if you're going to the churches to perform, then
Yeah, it
it's
comes with it.
it's going to
Yeah,
be
fair.
it's going to come with the territory.
Which is like a good, that all the politicians that said like with the masks and then they didn't follow 'em.
All of them got
Exact
caught.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like we don't care if you go on vacation.
Yeah.
We care about this because you told us we couldn't.
Yeah.
And now you are. That's
Yeah,
they
and
were like,
some
no,
of it is like,
yeah, hate that.
and don't get caught, like or something. Like it's in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way
yeah,
of like
yeah.
some of it's like I don't even really care, but don't get caught and don't
Yeah,
make
yeah.
me care.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
No.
Don't make me care,
Yeah.
dude. If you make me see this happen, then you,
Yeah, then I
you look
gotta-
at me,
yeah,
you make me
yeah.
feel like a chump.
Because
And
you
then
missed,
now
you got
I'm-
me,
now
you're like
I'm
I
upset.
tricked you or something like that.
No one really cares. Like
If Eric Church lives in Detroit in a mansion, no
yeah,
one really cares.
No, if the music is good,
The music,
it's like don't let me find out. I don't need to know about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't. It doesn't need
That's
to be
it,
a whole thing.
Or if you go to like the Eric Church, are you like, oh really? You're wearing Vanderbilt? Do you know what their assistant athletic director did? And you're like, what? No,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
responsible for that.
I'm like, that's why I'm wearing the jersey.
Yeah.
And they go, what's that? Yeah, oh, I don't know. Who are we talking about?
What?
again?
No, never mind. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you drive a Honda? Do you know what the CEO said about? You're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
What? How was I gonna say? I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, I guess if people don't know what you're talking about, just Google.
Go to yes. I actually got pulled over today on the way. I got here before any of y'all.
Yeah.
I came from
In
Atlanta.
my own house.
I was speeding to get here, and I show up, and there no one is here. But I got pulled over, and the cop goes. He went back to his car, and he goes, "Hey, I don't usually do this, but like, I Googled you because he thought he recognized me." And he
Yeah.
goes, "You're a comedian?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yay, free to go."
Wow.
Oh wow.
But I was like, "Well, look." I go, "Well, look me up on socials. Don't Google me." That's what I said.
yeah,
I was like, "Well, did you like look up my? What did you?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Can I
Specifically?
control what you are looking at? Of
He's-
me?
If I would have been Googled, he was like,
Yeah.
You're the
you're going
North Korea of
Don't scroll
comedians.
down too much.
Yeah.
Stop about
Okay,
2018.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how Google works.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Stop at 2018.
You do just a 2021 search or pre 2017 search.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is all. Yeah,
But that's what you went and got all fixed up and now you're good.
now I'm preaching. Actually,
Now you're preaching.
Yeah, so now I am an actual preacher.
Now you got to the root of the problem and it was
Yeah.
performing at churches.
No, it was
So
actually-
now
it was-
you're doing no churches and
Well, it started from saying "mommy," That's
Yeah.
where it started.
That's where
but
it
yeah,
started.
they-
That's where it
yeah,
I think you created COVID. 'Cause
yeah.
You get canceled, then
But
we
I
all
might
do.
have. Dude, I got ahead of it. I just got ahead of it by a couple months, dude.
But see, this is where now you're being honest and you talk about it, and
yeah,
that's
you go
where,
find it. Yeah,
and that's people just want to be, they don't want to feel tricked,
yeah.
and
that's
if
how they
you're
felt.
being-
And that, and to be fair to anyone that like, I'm putting myself in somebody's shoes. That's a mom that like is in the community. You know
It's
what
in
I'm
the
saying? Yeah,
community,
big in the
yeah.
community in the church.
Yeah.
She finds my videos, shares the videos with everybody,
Yeah.
and that's how I got popular. People sharing my videos. At church, look at this guy, John Crist is hilarious. We love him. And then to read that about me is probably a bummer.
Oh yeah,
A huge bummer.
huge
and
bummer.
and you go, like, that's all rehab is like put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah.
And you go, oh yeah. I would like you said, you felt now I did it trick people on but I go, if I was her, I would be pissed.
yeah,
Because I shared my platform with you to everyone I know.
yeah,
All the time. This guy's, and that's how I
Yeah.
got popular so fast.
yeah,
You're like, what thing about them? Why would they be? They're like, oh yeah, I would be mad too.
yeah,
Because you were saying you were something that you were not.
yeah,
And now it's like, yeah, here's who I am. And they're like, all right, yeah, that sounds good.
yeah.
Not that, but like everybody's a human.
And what's been your response since you've been back?
Well, that's what's wild is because when I got out of, so I don't know about Catholicism, but Christianity is very, very shame based, at least how I grew up.
Yeah.
So if you did something bad, you don't say, you hide it, right?
Yeah,
And so everything that came out about me, I was like, this, you can imagine I was like suicidal when I was in
Yeah.
rehab. I was like, this is the worst day. And it's nothing worse. A Christian, fame, and sex. You're like,
yeah,
this is the perfect storm of everything. And I was like, and I got out. I'll never forget this. I went to Five Guys. The Chick-fil-A was closed. I went to Five Guys. It was on a Sunday. And there was this family. It was in Hattiesburg, Tennessee. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And they were like, John. And I was like, oh no, they're going to say I'm a bad Christian or a bad influence
Yeah.
on their kids or a bad role model. And they were like, we just want to let you know that we missed you and we've been thinking about you. And I was like, and we've been praying for you. And I was like, what?
yeah,
It was very confusing
yeah,
because I thought I had to keep all this stuff a secret. And if everybody knows, it would be the end of me.
yeah,
Because we were talking about that when you were growing up, your parents would close the door of your room
Yeah.
and be like, hey, if anything, God's watching,
yeah,
which is a scary, kind of a
Yeah,
tricky
yeah.
thing to say to a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
The God, and if he catches you doing anything, he's coming for you.
It'd be fun to talk to those people now. They're like, yeah, we just didn't check the phone when we saw him at that moment.
Yeah,
I would have definitely said different stuff. There you go. Yeah.
We did not follow the news.
Yeah,
I
what?
mean,
yeah,
we
Just on
just-
vacation.
You know, it was a Sunday. It was a slow day. I just
Yeah.
haven't really
Wait,
looked
what?
at stuff yet. And if I would have, I
Yeah,
never would have
yeah.
approached him like that.
Well, this
I
is
wouldn't
like-
have let him meet my children.
It was like what it was very like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
It was very because then you're like, oh, because then if people like which is now is like people, my platforms are bigger and people because all they ever wanted was you to just say who you are.
Yeah.
And then everybody, like if you had a friend or anyone come to you with honesty and humility, be like, hey, dude, I'm struggling with everybody would be like, we love you, dude.
Yes.
Everybody, any
Everybody.
comedian
Yes.
that did the worst thing
Yeah.
you could ever possibly imagine came to you sincerely
Yeah.
and be like, hey, they'd be like, every human has unlimited forgiveness.
Comedians are pretty, the comedians are a special breed in that we're very
Yeah.
not judgmental and
No.
we're always willing to hear out.
Always,
And,
yeah. Well, I think when you think,
but not that we're just ruthless against
No.
the other people that the stuff happens to. We do think of them, and we will. But I think comics are also good in the fact that you're like, yeah, dude, like you just can't do that though. Like you,
Yeah, it's
like
fair.
you're pretty
Yeah,
being straight up front and honest.
there's very and there's very like I feel like all comics. I was listening to the Seinfeld podcast. Like you get I'd say we all have this gift of comedy or creativity or whatever it is. In that basket also kind of comes depression or comparison or anxiety or whatever that is. Kind of just a part of it
Yeah,
that you're like always needing
yeah,
love and support.
Yeah,
That's just kind of a part of the thing.
yeah,
And every comic has this generational gift or talent, but there's also this other thing that they're kind of trying to keep at bay
yeah,
a little bit so they can keep doing the thing. And whenever you see a comic, whether it's drugs or alcohol or addiction or whatever, I know how much these people love comedy. Every comic, you know how good it feels And if they did something that jeopardizes that, I have compassion.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, most comics, I always think of that when if they do a joke and it's like that joke crossed the line. You always got to think in the comics' mind, they are truly trying to be funny.
Yes.
And
yes,
they are
yeah.
only thinking about the joke. They don't think of the consequences of that joke.
Yep.
And it doesn't come from a place of hate. It doesn't come.
Nope.
It comes from a pure like trying to be funny. And I mean, there's jokes that are wildly over the line.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that person. I mean, not saying I don't know if everybody, but what I believe these comics to believe or what they think is they truly were like, oh, I'm gonna do this because this will be the funniest thing to go do at that moment, and they have no attachment to even what they are saying. There's not even like
I gotta. They have no agenda. They're just like
if you talk to them in 2 days and said, "You remember you said that?" They would, if they didn't get in trouble for it, they would be like, "Oh, did I say that?"
I don't know
Like it's because it's all just about I gotta be funny, and so like
That's
whatever I have to do to be funny, because a lot of times saying the obvious is the thing that's the funniest. So sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not going to work, but it comes from a place of pure like, dude, I was just trying to be funny. I don't have any feelings about this stuff at all. Like I don't, and people have a hard time.
You'd be like, but
accepting that. People have a hard time when they hear that. They go, "You don't mean that at all, though, man." And they in the comics, like, I don't mean any of this, dude. I don't.
Or like, I don't not, but I'm not like.
I don't like live by that. Like you're like,
sometimes
dude,
I get.
Don't you think I'm trying to say the opposite of the room
right
to make you laugh? Yeah. So if I want to make you laugh, I got to go say the opposite thing the thing that you don't expect me to say. I have to go say it.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to get, and once I get you to laugh, and I think it's going to be this, like this big kind of thing. Yeah. And then I move on. And then, I mean, something by the end of the set, you might even be like, oh, I don't know. What did I say?
Remember that. Yeah. But then
it's truly coming from a place of like, I'm just trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
And that's when people talk about
But there would also be things where you would say, hey, listen, I don't support what he said or what his behavior was, but this, you're not saying, you're not saying anyone should be able to say whatever they want. You're not saying that.
No,
you're like, you should probably have some consequences for that. But you can't say, you deal with it. Yeah, but you can't say, throw the whole guy. This guy shouldn't be able to do comedy ever again.
Yeah, well, I always think that too. Like, there's a weird balance of that where people talk about free speech, or they say like comics are, like comics they say whatever they want. Like comics always send us act like they're trying to tell us not to say something. Like, y'all all say the craziest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Like there's.
Have you ever been to a comedy show?
Yeah, everybody's saying. No one's stopping you from saying. But if people do get upset about it, I mean, there's a weird balance where I just wish an audience would understand. There's not hate in that person's heart he's just trying. He or she is just trying to say the craziest thing to you. And what kind of comedy they do kind of describes how crazy of a thing they might say. So like something that we're probably not going to say that crazy of a thing. Because I'm not saying that crazy of a thing even in my regular act. Versus someone that
all four of us
filthy,
who are all clean, people have walked out on our shows. At least mine.
Yeah.
They'll be like, that's too far. Well,
It's come full circle.
Yeah.
Well, they're here. What are they Googling during the show? Oh, wait, what?
No, I think they know. I think it's your act. Google it. Yeah. I think they would have stayed. Some of them would have stayed. I didn't know he's a cool guy.
But if you say, people say John Crist is across the line.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that. But also, I'm not. But I hear jokes that I go, that's across the line. But then, if I remember going to a comedy show at Zanies, I've talked with Lucy about this before. I thought that it was a joke about Christianity. I thought was way across the line, and I just got up and I went home.
Yeah,
I didn't. Everyone, but it was killing. It was killing in there.
Yeah.
So I can't say the joke wasn't funny, and nor do I get on Twitter and say that we shouldn't.
Yeah,
because 300 people bought tickets and it got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
So I can't say that was across. To me, it was.
Yeah.
But everyone should have the ability, if they think something's been.
Yeah.
By all
comics
means.
just don't get offended very easy. And we would never think to go do something like that because we're just not. We're in a world of hearing crazy things and. So being offended, we could never be offended.
I know that comedian is one of the nicest comedians in the world.
Yeah, and
He's
you're
an
like, he's a
unbelievable
great, you're like, oh, yeah, I
philanthropist,
don't-
and like, yeah, it
yeah.
does like so you can't say
Yeah,
whatever the label you're trying to put that comic intended to
yeah.
hurt.
Mhm.
He or she did not, and I don't think ever. If he wants people to laugh and have a
Yeah.
good time and enjoy
You
themselves,
got to, as a comic, it's a weird balance. You got to deal with the consequences
Yep.
of it, and then if
Which
you
is
say something
fair.
crazy,
Yep.
yeah, you got to, if people get
It's-
upset about it,
and the social media,
whatever, man,
yeah,
they get
yeah,
upset. You're saying stuff crazy. You know, I don't
That should
know.
be
It's
the
like you have
next-
to deal with it. Like it's
part of
it's a
it.
weird, but I think
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
be allowed to say whatever you want to go say.
But you also have to deal with
all
it
that
if it
stuff.
come-
But you
yeah,
got to
yeah.
deal with it, and like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird. I mean, sometimes you got to think. Sometimes you got to read the room. Sometimes you
Yeah.
got to have the comedic timing or the comedic. Like to go like.
yeah.
There's times where you're like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't. You're right.
For that, yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely. You can feel when something's mean.
Yeah.
Just don't be mean.
So,
That's
like,
really
if it
you gotta say
yeah,
stuff. It's like, but if it comes out mean,
Yeah.
that's like a long time ago. I've talked about it when I talked about my wife. When I would do wife jokes, people would be like, "Well, why are you? It sounds like you hate her.
Yeah,
Why are you
yeah.
married?" And I go, these jokes
That's
shouldn't
not
be
what I
coming
intended.
off like that.
Yeah.
So I need to tell these jokes where they are not coming off like that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
sometimes in comedy that needs to be done where you can
Yeah.
say the crazy thing. And look, if you want to go as insane as you want to go insane,
Yeah.
then go be insane, and you're going to have the audience that
Yeah.
you're going to have. And
Which
then,
is what you were talking about the Christianity. The thing I tried to clarify. I go, people were like, go after, and I go, whoa, I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to like if enough people told you, was it a couple or several that said you sound like mean about your wife, and you're like, well, that's not my intent.
Yeah, I mean, it was enough that
Some
I was
pe-
aware of.
somebody
I mean, it
told
wasn't
you.
like
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
no internet,
Yeah.
or like it was. I mean, I would
No
see
internet.
some. Well, I don't know if the internet was this crazy.
Yeah.
like when I
Social
started,
media wasn't the same.
But that was not.
Well, the
but that's
internet in
not
2003, it wasn't.
there was no social media.
There was
No social media, but I mean, like, when I moved
you
to
didn't
New
get-
York,
there's no
like 2005
hashtags.
or
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
When did YouTube really when commenting really started? 08? Oh,
Maybe.
no, even
Mid to late 2000s.
yeah. So it's like even it's like even at that beginning,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like you were getting
Like,
a ton
you
of
getting-
comments
yeah.
or it was it wasn't this thing that we were always super aware of.
If you'd have done your thing 10 years earlier, nobody would
Yeah,
known about it.
That's when I made that mistake. Well, I grew up in church.
Like
and
that's the
I-
mistake. You go, you know what? I was just born at the wrong time.
He's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
But it's also somebody told me that I was like not me, not to make the comparison, but like Steph Curry. If Steph Curry would have come
Are you like
around,
this?
if Steph Curry would have come around in the 80s,
Yeah.
he would not have been successful. Right? The NBA was not set up with
Yeah.
the way the fouls
Yeah.
were, and there was not set up to be. He came on at the right time where he was small,
Yeah.
and there was no hand checking,
Yeah.
and there was no Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman
Yeah.
that he could be successful.
I think he's talented, but people take away the fact that the guy's talented enough that he would figure it out. That's the thing.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
take
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
away.
That he could, that he
Like
would,
they
would just check him. And
Yeah,
do
people
it.
tend to, they think,
Yeah.
LeBron could have played in those days, or, all these people
Yeah,
could have played in all
yeah.
these different
Yeah.
eras. You're not that, this is back to Larry Cable Guy,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
same kind of
You're not, yeah,
carrot
yeah,
top
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thought. You're not as good as you are now, and then you couldn't have figured it out. And
Probably
when
could've-
people grew up in those times, they knew how to live in that time.
And they
It wasn't
adjusted
like
for
a
that.
person from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
future
great point.
walking
They were-
around going,
yeah.
why are y'all allowed to do all this kind of
Yeah.
crazy stuff?
Right.
They would have just adjusted. That's the way everybody kind of does.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Everybody
This-
has to adjust with the
Yeah.
kind of times, and maybe comics are,
Before their time or past their time,
Yeah.
where the joke is not. It's not sharing like, oh my goodness, this is like it might be a little too early for that,
yeah,
or that joke is already be past your time. So it's like a perfect example of like that. Like you could make fun of Christianity from inside Christianity. I was not really happening before me,
Mm.
or not in the way that like was be like, oh, you can love Jesus but also make a joke about Joel Osteen.
Mhm.
yeah,
That was not. It was supposed to be like, hey, we're all together.
yeah.
We have to show a unified front to the world.
Yeah,
And so
but
it's like, hey, you can-
that's exactly why so many people were with their reaction to what happened to you. You
Yeah,
get hurt
yeah.
because of that.
yeah,
Because they were like
He's-
they trusted you in the fact that you were
yeah,
and almost like I almost get it more right there in that moment. But it was like they trusted you in the fact that like you were like, hey, we let you in. You're making fun of us because you are us. And then it's like,
then you found out they might.
And then something was you found out
based on the moral code, you're not one of us. I was one. I still was and still am one of them. But that we decided, hey, no, you're.
But that's where which I believe is most comics. I mean, most Christians would. It is you forgive and you
100%.
and you understand that you go through stuff and you think about the people that were truly affected by it, and those girls, and like that 100%. You hope that they are everybody all around and everybody forgives and everybody can move forward and
you look
can
at
go forward.
All the whole like rehab process is basically they just saying, well, look at this from the other person.
Yeah,
that's all. And you like I got in trouble. This is not really comedy, but it's like I got in trouble for behaving narcissistically in rehab. And they go, for example, they would go, yeah, I know, it's wild. Yeah, is that what you're laughing at?
Yeah, like even in rehab, you're
So they
it's all about
Let me so like we would go like we would go like we're all gonna play volleyball at 5:30.
Yeah.
And I show up at 5:45.
Yeah.
They checking your phone.
They go, we didn't have our phones, but they go, why do you think that's okay? Everyone else showed up at 5:30.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Somebody else put out the nets. Someone else got the ball. I just figured. But they go, well, look at it from his perspective. He set everything up, and you just. I go, oh yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole. That's the whole thing.
We sent him to rehab for this podcast.
Yeah.
What? Because I don't think about what you
set it all up.
Huh?
You just roll in.
Yeah, dude, you just roll in. Yeah,
it's your podcast. Never enough for this guy. He's on the podcast. He does. It opens for him. Never enough.
Yeah. What else?
He wants more. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me give you more.
Yeah. Never enough. Yeah. You should be grateful.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the problem I would have at the rehab.
Just trying to bring some humor to this podcast.
But if two people are,
there's been humor the entire.
I'm joking. That's what you always say.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm the only one that brings it.
Yeah,
I mean, Aaron does it, but Aaron Land's great.
Yeah, Aaron Land's awesome.
Yeah,
that guy does.
He thinks we're supposed to always be equals in the fact that I should have to do everything he does.
Yeah.
He looks at comedy like it's a job at Verizon.
Yeah,
and we're all equals, and there's no such thing as talent, but everybody deserves equally whatever everybody.
But he
gets.
can like if the car for the airport is leaving from the hotel lobby at 6, you can be late. He can't be late.
Yes, but he would think.
Agreed.
But I don't think he believes that.
No.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't think like the fact that I'm paying for the car.
You'd be driving the Uber. That's what Brian.
Yeah.
If this was a situation in rehab, the therapists like live for that kind of stuff because they were like, oh well, why they just like pick at you and
down
dig
and
something. Yeah, they're like, oh, why do you?
Are you glad that article was written?
100%. Well, I said it did. I was very. Did you ask him to say that? Is that allowed?
No, I've never talked to him outside of this.
Well, I remember the day of is that they like message, they emailed us and they were like, hey, we're going to release this article tomorrow or something like that. And they were like, they were going to release it. I don't know, let's say 10 a.m. or something. And I was like, of course, like I didn't have my phone, but my sister was like keeping me updated. And it came 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then I was like, well, maybe it's just not going to come out. Mm-hmm. And then I imagined living in that world, and I didn't want to
worrying.
And for the rest, I go everybody put it out.
Yeah.
Put everything, whatever you've decided or discovered about me, put it all out. And not once from that time forward have we ever deleted anyone's comment or tried to block anyone or says everyone say whatever you want. Yeah. And this life is way better.
Yeah.
Because I said the only thing worse about what happened to me, it was the last 10 years prior. Because I was drinking and doing all that kind of stuff. And I felt if these people knew, these people would all crush me. And that's what I lived for my whole comedy career like that. And that was horrific.
Yeah.
Like
horrific.
Something.
Yeah. Knowing that but then I was like, hey, dude, if I got one fan after this is preferable to living like that.
Yeah.
Being scared of
Yeah.
So I go, just put it out. Everybody put everything out and do it. Everybody say everything that they need to say.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. And Mike, plus, you can't, I say at the show, I go, you're going to send a comedian to rehab? It's like breaking up with Taylor Swift She's gonna write some hits.
Yeah.
Like it's you can't. That's unbelievable for an experience for a comedian because that's the way we handle pain.
Yeah.
It's like all the things that you joke about that you are real.
Yeah.
Real issues.
Did they tell you rehab like not to think like that? You're like,
Yeah,
you know what? I'll be glad that those girls. He's talking about. You're like, you know, what's the best thing that happened to me? My act. These girls are still like.
You're like,
I mean, could you say I'm sorry or something? You're like, oh, so yeah, obviously sorry, but I've been murdering on stage lately, so I have been.
That's not what I meant, but sure.
Oh yeah, the girls too.
I have been
100%.
slaughtering since I.
But this new closer is killing me. Yeah. No, I don't.
You
I
didn't
wouldn't
mean that. I know.
I wouldn't wish it on that process on my
No, I
worst
know.
enemy. It's horrific.
You didn't mean that.
Nothing.
Joe.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
That is my closer though. But yeah.
That is, Do you bring the girls out?
No. Why is Aaron? Yeah.
I know this one might be rated PG.
Here we go. I thought we were going to talk about Georgia. We never got to.
We never got to Georgia.
We got to comedy.
More
though.
interesting.
Yeah,
It was more.
yeah.
it
I had
was
the Georgia
funner.
Wikipedia pulled up, ready to go.
Turns out Georgia's got a lot of you, John.
I wrote a lot of notes on Georgia.
Yeah, we'll do it
Yeah,
again.
we'll do it. I'll come back and
We'll
do
do
it
it
next
again.
time.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
But don't let anyone
If
else come
they're-
on and defend. I need to talk about Georgia. Because
Yeah.
if do people trash it?
No. We just talk about. No, we
how
don't.
good
We
it
don't
is. Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
think-
We're not your comedy. We.
This is the whole podcast. He just trashes.
Yeah,
everything?
dude, we just trash.
Yeah.
I trash
For
the
sure.
table,
For sure.
but we don't.
I'm
go
happy to
outside
We
be-
talk
of
a
that.
lot about the table too.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
to be a
we
part of it.
actually do
What?
talk
This table.
physically about the table.
Yeah, man, metaphysically.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good because it's a podcast. It's like audio, but like let's talk about what's in the room.
Let's talk about
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, people can really relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm listening, so I can't say. anything.
You have so your tour. say
Tour
it again.
starts middle of September.
middle of September.
Yeah, Fresh Cuts Comedy Tour in 35 cities.
Tickets are on sale.
Tickets are on sale.
On sale.
Let's-
You have a
let's
bunch of.
go.
That's good. Why didn't you call this tour? Did you almost
Let's
name
Go.
it? Let's Go.
I
Tour?
should've.
The Let's
Yeah.
Go tour.
Did you almost go?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think in the announcement of the tour, I said, "Let's go. We're going
Yeah.
on tour."
I had the people that run my social media. They put "Let's Go" for my special.
Yeah.
and I think about it every day. And that was in March, and I approved it,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Oh, weird. That
I
was
know.
back before it was still. Cool.
No, I didn't like approving it before, and sometimes it's one of those things that like you know when you're like I don't think I should be doing this, well, you know, and you still do it.
Yeah.
And they,
My goodness.
I mean, dude, it's kind of just working out.
Oh my.
I mean, that's unbelievable. It's one of the best jokes I've ever said in my life.
You get it. You know. What I'm
Yeah,
talking
you get it.
about.
This crowd gets it. You know, that's my favorite thing a comic can say. That guy gets it in the back.
Yeah.
Like that's such a funny.
One guy.
That's
All
a trick.
That's a trick.
But I'm kind of okay with that
Yeah,
trick
yeah, yeah.
because everybody kind of does it. It's such a funny thing to go. That guy gets it in the back
Yeah.
right there.
Anybody? Just
You
one.
know what I'm talking about.
What about
Uh,
the trick of asking?
There was a
anybody?
joke. I knew a comic that used to do the joke that I always thought was so funny on stage. He did crowd work. Russ Eve, very
Yeah.
funny New York comic, and he would always ask the guy in the front row. This is, I mean, when I moved to New York in 04, 05, and he'd be like, "What's up, buddy?" He goes, "You like girls?" "No, I do." And he would just say, "No one." He doesn't let the guy answer or hear. But it was just a very funny, quick, like just staying on top of him.
Yeah.
"You like girls?" "No, I do."
Oh, you know what about this last trick? You know that one awkward person in your family? If you don't know her,
Oh, you're them.
you're
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
dude.
that's
Yeah,
good.
If you're not laughing, then
Yeah.
blah blah blah. blah.
Then
You know that
you're-
one.
It's you.
You know the crazy person. You know the one guy that, if you don't know him,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
you.
that you would say that's not stolen because that's just out there.
that's just out there.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's not. No one
I
claims
wouldn't do
that.
it because it's like you shouldn't.
But
It's been done too much.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to always do those jokes about in a
That's so
small
good.
room.
Yeah.
Where you'd be like, I could have done this in my car. Like,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that was
yeah.
a big New York joke.
Or like you come.
I remember some comic goes, "Dude, that's my joke," and I was like, "That's everybody's joke." Like, you do a version of that.
Or
joke.
what about Des Moines? Des Moines got a zoo. What's at your zoo? 2 squirrels and a rabbit. Like that's
Yeah.
That's a.
Yeah.
Unless you go to Columbus
The
or San
local
Diego.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
there you
like-
go. Our zoo's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
man.
our zoo is actually-
one of the top zoos in the country. And you go, and we have a squirrel and we have
Shoot.
multiple rabbits. We have a jackrabbit.
I remember
You ever
the one
seen a
time-
jackrabbit.
yeah.
You're like, no, I'd like to go though.
We'd all crush on like. Remember, every city we go to, we just like crush.
I like
the city,
that thing that y'all did, making fun of the city.
driving around.
I actually like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
what-
you showed it at the
At the
you
sh-
could
at the
fill some
show.
time.
And then
And
not to
then-
fill some time. This podcast rules, dude. But
Why don't y'all put all those out?
Well, because it's video, but then the audio is from the crowd.
Yeah,
It's confusing. They're like, why is the crowd laughing? You're in a car.
but y'all have all those cities. Like, why? Yeah, why don't you like? Are all those out? Like, can someone watch
no,
those?
they're not out anymore.
Some clips of them. You
Yeah,
put
some
out
of the
some
clips
clips
of-
of some of them.
I think that would be
Funny.
yeah, because that was a funny.
Well, I
thing
don't.
to
I don't
do.
think. But they're only funny because the audience is dying. Because
Yeah.
if it's just me and Aaron driving around just trashing on a city, especially if you're not at
Yeah.
the show, it looks very.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are mad at those because they're like, I'm the mayor, and then you just made fun of our whatever. Aaron was making fun of the murals in the cities.
But I mean, I think I'd want to watch it here in the crowd
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe we'll do that for the next tour. But they would always say like, well, some of them were similar. I feel like they were like,
Yeah.
oh, you just do that in every city.
Oh,
But a lot
like you
of
wouldn't
them-
want to show that.
Yeah, but a lot of them were pretty unique.
Well, because
Yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
every city is going to,
do some kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like. I mean, I've done it in my shows.
Well, that's like crowd work. I mean, crowd work is
Kinda
essentially that.
similar.
Like, it's like
yeah,
it's going to be if someone really went and watched someone do crowd work at all these cities, it would look very
crowd
similar.
work, yeah.
I mean, you know,
Are you against that too?
crowd work.
Yeah.
I've talked about it. I'm not against it. I know it's
There should
it's
be a
big
list.
thing.
There should be a list of things you're allowed to
I
do.
know,
Nate
there's a lot of- I
Bargatze's
have a
list
lot-
of things
yeah.
you can't do. on
I've
stage.
learned. I have a lot of rules that people don't know that they have to follow.
Yeah.
And I think they have to.
Do you not
follow.
like when people were my shorts on stage is my big one.
Yeah, yeah.
I get really
wouldn't.
annoyed
Yeah,
when I
shorts
see
on
people wear
stages. That's
shorts.
insane to me.
Sandals.
Yeah, yeah. You wear your sandals on stage?
No, I don't think I've
never.
ever worn shorts.
I think
on
I've
I don't think I've
wore-
ever wore short sleeves on stage. But
I don't even love short sleeves.
Yeah.
I just is the first time I wore them. I wore them one other show on even the podcast.
Yeah.
What about a hat on stage?
I don't mind a hat. The only reason I don't is because
'Cause
it's
the
like
light.
your eyes.
Yeah,
Because it
gets-
covers
yeah,
your eyes.
I've heard that. Yeah,
And so, but I don't mind a hat. People always think I wear a hat on stage. They always go, "You wear a hat on stage?" I've
never seen you.
I've
Yeah.
never wore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very few amount of times. But I've maybe posted a picture of a time that I did, and so
Wear a hat.
everybody thinks, "Oh, you just wear a hat all the time."
You're the hat comic, dude.
I'm the hat comic.
Yeah, yeah.
There's comics that are the hat comics.
Very true.
You don't want to be that. You don't want to
Yeah.
ever be the. Specific this
something
Hat comic
Yeah, yeah.
or the BOGO comic.
Is
You
the
guys
seat
sit-
taken?
Is this?
The Is the
Is
seat
anybody
taken
sitting
to
here?
tour?
And they go, it's a lot of. I don't. You know what? I don't think they're going to make it. It's the Broken Plans
45 minutes.
show.
45 minutes into the show. I don't think they're coming. I
Yeah.
don't think they're
I
there.
don't
Broken
think-
plans.
It's reserved, but I don't think.
Your opener knows when he's done to go. All right, guys. Obviously, your party's not coming tonight, so let's spush together and do for your opener knows to say that.
Everybody move up.
Everybody move up. Everybody.
Great.
Can everybody grab their water bottles? We all bought one water when you walked in. Can everybody grab their water bottles? And
I've done this before. I feel like everybody has.
has done a show where you scoot
Yeah, move
everybody up.
everybody in.
Oh yeah,
everybody
you
has.
have to because
Yeah.
audiences don't realize.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah,
better if everyone's
yeah.
close.
This is all the audiences. If you're
Oh,
ever
I'm
if it's
dying,
a
dude.
small room,
Mhm.
don't spread out. I know you want to.
Yeah.
You will have a better experience if you
Everybody's
scoot
together.
together.
Yeah.
A table of 10 together is better than 20 spread out.
Yeah, true. And just do a show
That's
for them.
philosophy.
Yeah, write that
That
down.
is
there.
pretty nice.
That's pretty
yeah,
nice.
Put that down.
Yeah.
Write it down.
A
put it in
table
there.
of 10 is better together.
Then a party.
Then a
Then
party
a
of-
room
Spread
of
out.
20.
Then a room of 20 spread out.
Wow.
That's deep.
That
dude.
is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's better than whatever you said earlier. What'd you say earlier?
Fishing pole.
Fishing pole is a fish, but a man still is
Can't
your
use
fishing
it.
spot would probably be
Oh, fishing spot.
Tell him
That
where the
would be
fishing
because
spot
that's
is.
the,
Fishing
the
hole.
cadence with the fishing hole.
Yeah,
'cause that's
yeah.
your,
Yeah.
It's you get the fishing hole from him,
Okay.
and he's like,
He's just catching all these fish. It's like, how am I doing this? I'm supposed to be a good fisherman. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, you're not. You
You're
just
not.
figured out where
Stole
the
it.
sheep. Yeah,
Oh.
figured out where the fish are.
yeah.
Yeah, that is better.
Okay. All right. Yeah, John Crist. Yeah, my tour date. Go check out his tour.
Yeah.
I got tour stuff. We're announcing. I think it comes out Grand Ole Opry at Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, which I was
That's
going to see.
awesome.
Do y'all want to do the Ryman and the Grand Ole Opry?
No,
love
are you
to.
doing a show there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think because I am too.
Yeah.
But you can't say the Grand Ole Opry because that's confusing to people. They think you're on the show.
Oh.
You gotta do you're
Opry
doing the
House.
Opry. Yeah, you
Opry
should
House.
say
Doing
that.
that, yeah. All right.
Don't say the Grand Ole Opry because they were like,
I'm doing a show at the Opry House.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
At the Ryman. When they clicked the link, I figured they'd figure it out. And they so go
This podcast is unreal.
by the way, my first job was at Opryland, so it's kind
Was
of
it?
a cool
That is
thing
very
to
cool.
go. I used to sweep the steps of the Grand Ole Opry.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
What
worked at
age?
Opryland.
What
I
age?
was 16 or 15.
Wow.
Got paid $3.25 an hour, and I was a
pretty
sweeper.
cool.
You'd sweep inside the park. I also swept outside the park. Would go to the Grand Ole Opry.
Did you get promoted to outside the park, or did you start?
promoted a comedian at the?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I did worked in the dog kennel too.
Lost a dog.
Oh my!
Lost a dog.
Oh.
So, but y'all want to, you want to do
Oh,
those?
that'd be amazing,
Let
man.
me check my schedule.
Yeah.
I've done the Ryman.
That's true. I wanted to ask Aaron anyway, just Aaron, but
No, I would love to. I actually bought tickets for your show.
oh really?
Just assumed I wasn't on it.
To the
To the Ryman show. I'm just going to be in there.
oh, do you have tickets to it? Oh, why do you have?
When is it?
Well, it sold out. I wanted to grab
Yeah.
some.
Well, we got 2 tickets for sale. If you want to give, why don't you give? You should give the 2 tickets to somebody.
Okay.
Let's see. Who
On
we
the
give them
podcast,
to?
we're
On
doing
the
it right now,
podcast.
live.
No, we have to.
What are they
You
supposed
mean to two folks, right?
Yeah, to 2 folks.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll think about it.
to say? It.
Just
we
know
have-
they're
yeah.
not great seats.
How about it?
I
How
couldn't
about
afford his. I couldn't afford his down
Yeah.
low.
a list of write a list.
By the way, we don't
designed.
make the prices. We make prices of the tickets, but those tickets
Yeah.
get taken.
Yeah.
StubHub. There's a
They
big
get-
mess
yeah.
of a thing.
Uh-huh.
Just say whoever come up with a list of Nate's do's and don'ts of stand up comedy, and somebody just to submit that for the tickets.
I mean, we've got the whole
You already have
tagline
that?
thing going.
Yeah,
Maybe we could,
maybe do the tagline.
but
They'd
that's
have
not
to live-
fair. Yeah, exactly.
But whoever wins it, if they're not here in Nashville, then we'll give them tickets. We'll just give someone your tickets. Yeah, the prize should be better than the tickets you're having to go get at Brian's.
they're obstructed view, but
yeah, are they?
standing only.
They're not, are they?
They're standing
They
only.
might be.
They're
They
good,
might
dude.
be.
I can't afford the good ones. But
Yeah.
I wanted to come see you perform.
Yeah.
How funny would that have been if somebody who's a fan of your podcast comes to see it the Ryman and they just see Brian head behind a pole,
Yeah.
like peering around, trying to. Isn't that guy on his podcast?
Yeah.
Like, can he not have him
Yeah.
backstage?
And he didn't give them better seats than that. Not only did I not give him seats at all, he had to buy them.
And I was going to take my mom because it's her birthday.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can give them
They're
to your
on sale
mom
now.
then, I
Yeah.
guess, the tickets.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just give the tickets to your mom. then.
Now I feel bad. 'cause
Yeah, well, never mind. We were going to give them to, it'd be good. Give the tickets to your mom.
Okay.
Because then your mom
Yeah,
still
it's
wants to
better.
come. Have she
Yeah.
seen you at the Ryman?
No,
Oh, there you go.
no. October 28th, the show.
Yeah, October 28th. And 27th is the
Boom.
Opry House.
Let's do it.
That's awesome.
Grand Ole
man.
Opry.
Congrats on that.
Yeehaw.
Let's go.
I'll be on Yeehaw, October 27th.
Is that true? Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.